Excellent. Get it. Come on. Get it, get it. Come on. Get it.
What's going on? What's going on? All right, you know what time it is. You know what rhyme it is. I'm your gracious host, A6. We are live and direct, live in effect. It is Sunday, man, as usual, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we are in here, man. We got about 20 people watching so far, man. We here starting early. Did you miss me? Man, I had to take last week off, had my head in the books, had a chaotic weekend last week, bro. The whole situation was all over the place, man. But issues with the fam. Let me tell you something. I had to end up going to the emergency room for one of my family members. Right, wasn't nothing serious. You know what I mean? It was just like some. It was minor, but it seemed serious at the time. So, dude, let me tell you how I don't know how it is, but y'all live at but the emergency room is horrible here in Baltimore. And here's the problem, bro. Like you'll go to the emergency room at like 11:30, right? You'll get there at 11:30 and then sign in, and they'll have you waiting about an hour and a half to 2 hours before they even come and take your information, let alone to be seen. Oh my gosh. About 2 hours for them to even take your information down. And then you go sit down again. Then probably another 2 hours before they call you back up and get your all your other information, basically to bill you. They ask you for your social and all that other crazy stuff. They'll ask you for your address and what have you. You know what I'm saying? So they'll do all of this stuff. Now we look like we chopping up. We good here? It look like we chopping up a little bit. We good? All right, we good. We good. But yeah, so yeah, they'll do all of this stuff. Let me cut this. Let me cut this window out. Hold on. There we go. I think it was that window slowing. Yeah, it was that window slowing us down. But anyway, they'll do all that, right? Just to have your information. Dude, we got in that mofo about like I want to say 11:30 to 12, man. That person did not get seen until about 6 a.m. I shit you not. We were literally like, it was the dude that came in before us, and it's not funny. He came in because he couldn't breathe. Like, this man is literally having trouble breathing, and y'all got him sitting here for 5 hours. This is insane. So I get to talking with one of the nurses, and he like, we doing the best we can. We're understaffed. And I'm like, I would buy the whole understaffed excuse if it wasn't always effed up like that. The emergency room is notoriously horrible here, man. It's really, really bad. Like, dude, the only way you getting seen is if you literally are physically bleeding out, or if what is it? I think it's bleeding out, or it's something. It's another stipulation or something. But it was crazy. I'm like, this is the wildest shit ever. And back before the whole 2019, 2020, my bad, 29, 20 C19 2020 thing happened. Um, you would be in there for like, you might be in there for like 4 or 5 hours before you get sick. It was still bad though. And it was like, the issue is, the doctors, it's only like 3 doctors. And then doctors they're supposed to wait to get relieved by somebody. Nobody wants to work night shifts or something like that, so they might not come in and they might not get relieved. And then the doctors got too many patients, and then they actually have a room where doctors can lay down and rest for a bit, so they don't give misaccurate diagnosis. And here's the issue: majority of the time you come in through the emergency room, they just give you antibiotics. Like, it is a complete ripoff. Then they charge you, they slap you over the head with an $850 bill, and they give you antibiotics. Like, can we just cut the middleman? Like, only reason you would actually have to go to him is because you had to get that prescription in order to get him from like a pharmacy or something. But dude, emergency rooms here are notoriously horrible, man. But everything turned out to be cool. Person got antibiotics, they all good to go. So yeah, but apparently it's like it's a stomach thing going around, man. I actually read an article about it. There's supposed to be a stomach bug going around. Who we got here in the chat? What up? What up? What up, Wolf? First in line, first in time. Privately born, natural, foreign, national. Yes, indeed. Thank you for tuning in, man. We got the Wolf in the house. My man, Civic Maker. Yes, sir. What up? What up? Jared Theros was good, man. We got the knowledge Ben himself, the man of knowledge. We got Fred Mitchell in here. What's good, Fred? All right. Tony, Tony's taking the music. Yes, indeed. Sometimes you just gotta keep that upbeat spirit going. What up, MSN? What's good? What's good? Victor Von Doom. Yes, sir. We got the king in the house. What up? What up? Rainwater, what's good with you? Good to see you here. They said go Ninja Go. I haven't heard that song in eons, man. Yeah, I remember when I went to the Baltimore. It used to be called the Baltimore Arena back in the day, but I went to the Baltimore Arena with my mom and dad, and they took me to go see the Ninja Turtles on ice. And yo, it was trash. I didn't like it. I told mom, I was like, I'm ready to go now. I don't like this. So we left, and I got a whole bunch of cool stuff. Uh, what did I get? I got like a cassette CD. I think I got no, not a cassette CD. It was a cassette tape with the Ninja Turtle stuff on there, all the songs that they performed and everything. And then it was a few other trinkets I had got from the concert, but I remember that song being on there. But yeah, that was awesome. What up, Vic? What's good? What's good? Neil, what's up? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I rock with Snap-on tools most of the time. Let me tell you something, man. Like Snap-on tools are expensive, but from what I've seen over the years, I've only had to replace Snap-on tools maybe about a collective of 4 times. You know what I mean? I've had a 3/8 ratchet wrench that broke. That's because I was misusing it though, so I ain't really mad at the wrench. And it was something else that I think it might have been a that I remember anyway. It might have been one of my swivels that broke, but let me tell you, Snap-on makes some good tools. Anybody who's into doing your own stuff at the house or anything like that, I highly recommend looking into Snap-on. I also like Milwaukee tools too. Milwaukee tools are pretty good, very high quality tools. Matco is cool too. I mean, Matco is usually second fiddle to Snap-on, but actually these days that might not even because that's an old way of thinking. These days that might not even really be the case, to be honest with you. These days, Harbor Freight has some pretty good stuff too. Like a lot of that stuff you can get from Snap-on, Harbor Freight actually has also. So that's food for thought. By the way, today we are rocking with spring water with cinnamon, vitamin C, and I also dropped a kiwi in it too. So yeah, I'm rocking with that today. Got the kiwi water going with a few other additives. Basically, you basically turn it into tea when you start adding. It's not really water anymore. It's now a tea. But you know, tea is great for you anyway, so it's all good. Brian, what up? What up? What up? What's good? What's good? Smash that like, yeah, I'm working tonight. I'm working tonight, Floyd. Yes, indeed. I was off last week, man. I had too much going on, man. I had my head in the books. Let me tell you something. The amount of knowledge I done picked up, man. I was looking into Maryland. There was 4 Maryland constitutions. I was looking into all 4, man. Dude, it's just amazing some of the stuff they had added into these constitutions. But I was looking at the what was it, the 1867 Maryland Constitution. That was very interesting. So I was doing some work on that. You know, I've been in the books. You know what I'm saying? I told Wolf, go ahead and cover for me tonight, man. Last week, I'm in the books tonight. I had a lot of other stuff going on with the fam, so you know. Deal, what up? What up? What up? Pizza A6 and grind time is in the house. Put up the banner. Yeah, you're right. Let me put that banner up. I took so much damn time off. I forgot to put my banner up. Thank you so much, dear. Appreciate that. They're understaffed because of the jet. You know what? That's crazy. I was thinking that, Jared, and that's 1,000% correct. A lot of people fell off, and when I say fell off, you know what I mean? Yeah. A lot of people literally fell off. You know what I mean? So yeah, you shouldn't take. I can't say that word, but yeah. As far as the antibiotics goes, the problem with them is they do. I said the word anyway. They destroy all the bacteria. And the thing about it is, you have good bacteria in your gut as well as the crappy bacteria. There's usually a balance. So when you take the antibiotics, you wipe everything that's good out, and you wipe out the bad stuff too. Apparently, Knowledge Mel Media. What's up? What's up? What's up, man? He said he was like 12 when that joint came out. That's what it is. Yada. I finally came up with a name for Micronation. That's what's up. That's what's up. Micronation. Yo, I gotta go check out Cocaine Bear, man. I still haven't seen it. I wanted to go see it as soon as it came out, but dude, it was just too much going on these last couple weeks. I wanted to go check out. I still haven't seen Ant-Man. I haven't seen Creed. I haven't seen the Cocaine Bear joint. I haven't seen none of those joints. But yeah, I'm gonna check all three of them out though. What up, Lloyd? What's good? What's good? What's good? Good to see you here. But yeah, man, we are definitely live and direct, man. We got some things to cover. Let's talk about this first. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with this, but I was put on with this information. So let me bring it to you guys. All right. Let me bring it to you. Where is it? Give me a minute. Look like I'm gonna have to move some stuff out of the way. Give me one sec. Let me move this out of the way so I can find this a little easier. Here it is. Why is that not popping up? Hold on. Let me get this shared for you guys. That is interesting. It's not trying to let me share it. That's weird. Oh, here it is. All right, right at the top. Okay. Let's take a look at this real quick. All right. So this is a treatise on arrest and false imprisonment by Charles Wiseman. So I've been going through this book, covering a lot of this information. All right. And the things that you learn from this book are very, very interesting here. All right. So I'll show it to you guys right here. Now, you can get the PDF if you want, or you can grab the actual book. But dude, a lot of these things that are in this book explain to you how the Constitution is supposed to be applied and what people, those agents, can and cannot do. When they pull you over on the side of the road, that is literally a false imprisonment because you cannot move. And detainment is word solid for false imprisonment, basically. If there's no crime being committed anyway. Then they got the arrest without a warrant. It goes down the page. Let's see what they talk about on page 9. Page 9. Here we go. Here we go. Arrest without a warrant. Let's read this. The authority to arrest without a warrant was rather limited and well defined at common law, a law which has been made part of our constitutional law and the due process provisions. The common law rule on arrest is based on experience and common sense. As a general rule at common law, an arrest could not be made without a warrant. Thus, the right to arrest a person without a warrant is an exception to the general rule. The simple rule was expressed by Justice Carpenter in delivering the opinion for the Supreme Court of Michigan as follows. The law governing the case is elementary. Hold on, I think I got to change my settings too. Can you guys see that? If you guys, you guys, I'm pretty sure you guys can see that now. All right, had to enlarge that. Is elementary, except for a breach of the peace committed in his presence, or when he has reasonable ground to believe that the person arrested is a felon or is about to commit a felony. A police officer has no authority to arrest without a warrant. How many times have we all been arrested without a warrant? You know what I'm saying? They just come grab you up. He's supposed to have a warrant for that. The objective in this law was to have a balance between preserving liberty and preserving the peace. This is 100% a balance between the two. Those who committed the most heinous crimes, that being felonies, were a threat to the safety of society and could be summarily deprived of their liberty by arrest, which is fair. That's fair. If you're violating people's rights, you need to be arrested. That is 100% fair. Those committed a breach of the peace could also be summarily arrested, but not for apprehension as a criminal, but to preserve the peace. But for other offenses, summary arrest had to yield to the liberty of the citizen. Now, this is even the word citizen with a lowercase c. So even the citizens had the rights. The liberty of citizens is too sacred to be left with the arbitrary will of men. This is the problem we are having with the all policy enforcement. You know what I mean? They're too overpowered when people don't know their rights. And the problem with it, when people do know their rights, they are trained not to listen to them. This is the issue. All right. I'll check this out. Everyone knows what felonies are. The most common felonies are the M word, the R word. I don't know if I can say that, but the KIDNAP word. I can't say that either. The SODOMY word, armed robbery. ABORTION. Wow, that was a whoa. Holy crap. Yo, hold on, man. Run that back. That was a felony? Sheesh. The ABORTION word was a felony, apparently. Sheesh. The PEDOPHILIA word, TREASON word, and arson. I can say arson. A breach of the peace was also obvious and well known. Therefore, everyone's liberty was safe since all knew what reason they could or could not be arrested. But where is the safety of one's liberty if they are subject to every ordinance or law the legislative bodies may choose to enact? Or if the law on arrest can be changed by statutes? This is the problem. That is the problem. By the due process clause, the common law governs that the law on arrest in this land, and where exists the most statutes can be is declaratory of the common law. So statutes are supposed to literally uphold the common law, basically. They're not supposed to contrarily go against it. If there is no direct language in the Constitution directing what procedure or process is to be followed, the common law is to be the due process of the law followed. It also says in the Constitution, too, any power that is not deemed by the Constitution or designated by the Constitution falls into the people, basically, the state and the people, not a legislative statute or city ordinance. Officers who do not abide by this law are trespassers and are guilty of false imprisonment. It is that simple. It's not complex. The following is some material to help the citizen in protecting his liberty from unlawful encroachment by executive officers. First, to initiate a suit against one who unlawfully deprives you of your liberty, there is an example of a summons and a complaint which need to be served upon the defendant and the court. There's also a memorandum of law on the subject of arrest without warrant, which is legal proof that the law has existed for hundreds of years on this matter. All right, so I'm not gonna read the whole book, but as you can see, y'all need to go out there and grab that because yeah, y'all need to go out there and grab that, man, because that's some heat. They starting to play around with the signal. Looks like the signal started getting weak a second ago, but yeah. So there you have it. So go out there and grab that book. All right, go out there and grab that book because let me tell you something. There's some gold in it. I got about I think about 20 pages into that book. There's some heat in that book for you. All right. Definitely some heat in that book. Lori says, greetings, beautiful souls. All right, we heard about that. Anyone see the deep fake last night of the UFC 285 John Jones versus game? Nah, I ain't see that, man. Somebody said it was a deep fake? Nah. I ain't see that. It's a very interesting read indeed. Yes, it is. Gain. Nah, I ain't see that, man. I got that book using in court. That's what's up. If they are dumb enough to arrest you, you are supposed to be taken to the nearest magistrate. That's facts. That's called due process of law. You're supposed to be taken straight to the magistrate. That's actually in the Maryland Constitution, too. That's another thing I saw. You're supposed to be taken to straight to a magistrate, basically, for due process. That's a speedy trial. It's supposed to be taking you straight to a magistrate, and they're supposed to present all evidence, basically. All evidence is supposed to be presented. It's not supposed to be you go to jail, get processed, get your fingerprints, take your picture, give you a number, take all your belongings. So, none of that stuff is supposed to happen, man. That is the problem. That is the problem we have. In admiralty law, it definitely is a felony. Your photo and fingerprints are your property. They need a warrant for both. Yeah, 100%. Indeed, in fact, that Gerald Thoros, I have several vids reading both your statements on my main page, but I'm currently suspended. They got you too, huh? From looking into things, it seems as they're both statutory and constitutional nationals and citizens. State assumes you to be a statutory unless you refute. Well, now here's the thing about that, Bruce. Even if you refute it, they still try to treat you as a statutory citizen. That's the problem. They still try to refute, bro. They still try to ignore, even if you refute it. You see what I'm saying? Y'all heard me. I was like, yo, I'm a national. It was like, oh yeah, we'll get they try to continue with their whole entire process. Like y'all are doing it wrong. You don't need the book. It's called the Fifth and Sixth Amendment. That's true too. But see, you moved out to Hawaii and paradise, man, and you out there doing your thing as a complete sovereign. Like we still in the matrix plugged in. So, it's still we still gotta use stuff like that, Jared. 100%. What's the name of the book? The book is called A Treatise on Arrests. That's what it's called. I'm gonna tell you the name of the author. Author is Charles A. Wiseman. Wiseman is a sounds like one of the juice. That's one of them names. Here we go. I dropped the author right there, so y'all can grab the book. You know what I mean? Get familiar. What up, Aaron? What's good? What's good? Get familiar because that is a great read. As you can see, that's why I had my head in the books. I was doing that. I was looking at the Constitution, case law, dude. I was busy. I was pretty busy this week, so you know what I mean? Yes, sir. All right, where we at now? Let's talk about speaking of the whole thing with the understaffing and all that. Let's get into that, man. Let's get into that. Let's get into that. Oh, Bruce said non-citizen nationals can be statutory too. They just be adding layers to this crap. They be developing this crap for a long time. I mean, they can be statutory if they elect to be. You feel me? All right, let's get here. Careers have changed forever. All right, let's talk about this, man. I'm gonna share a video with you guys from the Tribe of Men, and this guy's talking about how basically the effect on the way the workforce has been affected by the way the matrix is working right now and the glitches in it, man. Let's talk about it.
Eliminate any other option besides that exact goal or dream. Now, everybody and their mom has a degree. Most office jobs are booked and you can do everything remote. It's the worst. It's the worst. So this one is careers have changed how money works. Thank you, by the way, to everybody sending these in. These are awesome. And if you haven't already, let me go to the top linked comment in the chat. If you guys want to submit episodes for the stream or even articles too, we can read articles. By all means, submit a wide variety, anything that would be interesting. Let's keep going. So we know how careers are changing. A lot of the younger side of the working generations do not stick with a job for more than 2 years. They do not become corporate slaves and stick it out for 20 plus years.
You were born, you are nurtured up to whatever you're 6, then you get sent in the kindergarten and school, and by the time you're 18, you come out and you go to college. By the time you get out of college, you get a job, and then you retire with whatever 65 or so, and then you enjoy your retirement somewhere at a hot place, right? That's been the model of the past. That's not working. That is absolutely not working anymore, and in every respect.
Go to school, get good grades, get into college, become a professional, and work your way up the corporate ladder until you can retire with your savings or a pension. That's the plan for a lot of people, and despite what a lot of hustle bros on the internet might tell you,
now that's fucking insane.
It's a good plan if you can stick to it. 9-to-5 jobs are picked on a lot, usually by people that need a way to sell a get-rich-quick scheme. The standard 40-year professional career has let millions of people enjoy very comfortable lives free from the stress that comes with being in business for themselves. But that is all coming to an end. In just the last 24 months, we have experienced quiet quitting, quiet hiring, work shortages, and labor shortages. What a lot of people aren't talking about, though, is how this is just the result of companies still trying to make outdated business models work in an age where workers can demand more from their employers. The establishment of the 40-year career is crumbling, and there are some employers and employees that are doing a great job taking advantage of it. And
you know what? And you know what's crazy? I always tell the young guys, man, like, listen, all right, that whole entire, and this is not, I'm not giving anybody any advice on any type of education or nothing like that. I just look at things from my perspective, all right? So what I say is, all right, look, you go ahead and go through high school, right? You get your degree from not degree, but you get your diploma from high school, right? All right, boom. Most people don't get a full ride to college. All right, you got a small percentage that does. if you're obviously probably going to be one of those people that has to go to college and has to pay for it. All right, so you go to a 4-year college, right? You rack up how many thousands of dollars worth of debt. Okay, by the time you get that diploma or whatever, or that degree or whatever, by the time you get that degree, you graduate, and now you got yourself your degree, you graduated college, and you're ready to go out and hit the work field. Yo, there is literally an influx of people in other careers than what they actually have degrees for. The main manager of Walmart, they have college degrees, man. And I was talking to one of my dudes about this a while back. His brother was like, he was connected. They had money though, but they was connected. But his brother was like, yeah, he was the main manager or the district manager, I think, of Walmart. And he was like, yeah, man, I'll be honest with you, Six. He was like, yo, the only way you're really going to be able to be a manager of a place like Walmart is if you got like a college degree or something, or if you get in a high enough position to sustain yourself, is if you got a college degree. He was like, otherwise, you're just going to be basically working on the floor, because the problem is what Walmart basically does is they'll go ahead and hire people as part-time and then give them full-time hours so they don't have to pay for their health insurance and stuff. And this dude was telling me this because, like I said, they were connected. They had bread. As a matter of fact, the dude that I went to school with, when he graduated, he became the district manager of Walmart over in Hawaii. So they had connections, like they had money. So he was like, yeah, man, your best bet probably, if you don't have connections in this world, you know what I mean, your best bet is probably just going to be go to trade school. For any of my young viewers watching that might want a suggestion or something like that. And like I said, I'm not giving anybody life advice. It's just something to consider. Yo, consider going to get like a trade, man. Get something where you can actually work with your hands, because this is the way men were intended to be. We were intended to get out there and use our hands to get busy. We were intended to be carpenters. We were intended to be electricians, mechanics. Get out there and get like certified and get all your whatever you need to be certified, right? Graduate, I think like you can do 2 years or maybe sometimes 3, depending on what your trade is. Get all your accreditations or whatever you need, or accolades. Get all of those. Go ahead, get yourself an LLC. Go right on the IRS website, get yourself an EIN. If you want to do a private or public, you figure that out. Get yourself a little work van or something. Have your credit in order when you get out of high school, because there's ways you can get your credit in order. Have your stuff, if your parents ain't set you up right, have your stuff in order by the time you get out of high school. That way, when you get all of this stuff done, you can go ahead and take out a loan and get yourself like a little Astro van or like a white van or something like that. Put all your tools in that van, and you can hire a crew of like 3 other guys, and y'all can go around fixing stuff. You can have a crew, own a business, and have a trade. That's how you really can be financially independent. I mean, I've known a few guys that worked 9 to 5s that went out and did their own thing in terms of being electricians and got bank. For real, made serious money just getting out there with a trade, man, because all of this, you know what I'm saying? Get a degree to do this, that, and the third, you know what I mean? Go work at this job or whatever. This isn't what I went to college for, but this is paying the bills. And the thing about it is, when you go work these jobs that don't even pay as much as what you went to college for, now you're in a situation where you got all this debt on your back. Now, yeah, there is ways to get rid of the debt and all that stuff. I'm just saying, all right. This is a particular situation where it's not really making sense anymore. So you got to really, like Cherokee said right here, invest in yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's what you really have to do in my eyes, because the world is always we got too many goddamn men that want to be stockbrokers and this, that, and the third. All these Wall Street assholes. These are the motherfuckers that's fucking the goddamn economy up and just fucking the nation up. These goddamn lawyers and stockbrokers and all these Wall Street assholes. What happened to the guy that just wants to go and do concrete? You see what I'm saying? What happens to the guy that just wants to do construction, building office buildings and stuff like that, where those dickheads do a lot of their work at? Now, what happened to them guys, man? We strayed too far away from that, man. And it was like, yo, a lot of men are not as I'm trying to watch my language, as manly as they used to be. Well, that's probably part of the reason. Everybody wants to get them office jobs and stuff like that, man. You know what I mean? Get a trade. Get a trade, man. For real, for real. All right, so that's basically where I'm at with that. So let me go ahead and drop this on.
And there are others that are suffering. The first trend is that despite pervasive stories about hustle culture and people making partner before the age of 30, while also building an outside business that dropships physical NFTs through the MySpace storefront, the average...
By the way, when they say that the workforce has changed, how could it not? We've essentially sent kids to school on a government-backed loan that they can't even get rid of. So when the government steps in, tells everybody that they will loan out money, it's guaranteed. And so now everybody and their mama can get a loan that they may not be worthy of getting. And they go to school to get the dumbest degree. So now everybody and their mom has a degree. And so having...
There you go. I just said it. Matter of fact, man, I told people that I went to high school with. It was like, yeah, yo, what you going? What college you going to? I said, man, I got a trade. I ain't going to college. And I was like, yo, you crazy? Blah, 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 blah. I said, nah, I'm not. And now these same mofos are talking about, man, I got all this goddamn debt. I can't do nothing. Blah blah blah. But you know what? How I feel about. You know why I am with that? Let me tell you why. Let me show you why I am with that. All right, hold on. You got all the debt built up. Told you to get a trade, god damn it, but I was the dumbass. All right. So everybody said I was crazy when I was coming out of high school and said, "Look, I'm just gonna be a automotive technician." You know what I mean? Service and vital automotive technician. I'm gonna learn how to actually um, fix cars and basically service automobiles because it's something that'll always be able to keep food on the table. You know what I mean? Being able to go in there and pull transmissions. You know what I mean? Do heavy work in terms of suspension, brakes. You know what I mean? All of that stuff basically. And yeah, you can make the excuse, well, electric cars are about to do this, that, and the third. That's true, but I'm saying on the same token, though, you literally could relearn your craft in order to learn how the electric cars work too. Because at the end of the day, these automobiles that are on the road or whatever you want to call them, they still have to be serviced. You know what I mean? So the work might get easier, but it's still going to be there. So that's the point I'm making.
A bachelor's doesn't mean anything anymore. You need a master's, and having a master's doesn't mean anything. You need something else. And by the time you're ready to go to work for a job, you don't have the experience needed anyway, because they're not teaching you the shit you really need to learn. And it doesn't really apply to the job you're applying for. They have to retrain you for the actual job and what it's really like. Because what you learned in school is nothing like the actual business in real life. It's wild, dude. NX sir, thanks, brother. I'm a person that believes in the biblical account of history, but it's interesting that it does line up with what you're saying. Thank you, brother.
Worker is not grinding. They are getting less ambitious. A Wall Street Journal article surveyed a range of businesses in demanding fields that are usually staffed by ambitious workers like law, business consulting, and marketing. The company...
All of these goddamn white-collar workers. You know what I mean? We got enough goddamn lawyers out here. That's why shit's fucked up now.
Companies all reported challenges with getting their employees to go above and beyond, which is really corporate speak for working late and coming in on the weekends. A law firm told the Wall Street Journal reporters that typically they would have no problem getting junior associates to do extra hours to make sure time-sensitive work was completed for their demanding clients. But now, new associates have started saying no to working weekends and late nights, which is forcing the partners to bring on more staff and do the extra hours themselves. Which, let me say this, as a former...
Why would you be loyal to a company when they're not loyal to you? You were told that if you just go to college, you're going to get a job that's going to be consistent, stable in your life until you're dead. And you're going to be able to retire with a happy nest egg. That's not true. We've seen it over and over again. Corporations treat people... The fact that corporations have gotten so large and have gotten in bed with government where they could do whatever they want, they throw you away. You're nothing. They cut and they downsize departments left and right. Corporate raiders will come and chop up a company into little pieces and sell off the profitable bits and toss away the rest. Nobody cares. You don't.
Yep. And then the thing about it is that fight for 15 thing that happened. Remember when they were talking about that back in 2013 and they were like, yo, we need to fight for 15. I think the first place that actually got the $15 an hour was Cali, of course. Cali's is always an experimental playground for stuff like that. And now look what happened. Like we're starting to see the effects of it. Everything is getting insanely expensive. Gas went through the roof. Groceries are through the roof. Eggs are high as a motherfucker. Everything is ridiculous. And they were like, oh, why is this happening? What's happening? Because you know what I mean? Of greed. The corporations know you have more, so they're going to ask for more. You see what I'm saying? That and the fact of a lot of other things too, but that's part of it, I would say. But yeah, that whole fight for 15 thing, dude, like, yo, the more you pay the minimum wage workers, man, just the foundation is just going to be upset even more, man.
You don't get a golden parachute when you get fired or your entire department disappears just because they want more profits at the top. The board has to constantly answer to investors. They don't answer to employees. Everything that a company does is investor driven, not employee driven. It's profits above everything else. So when a company sends the message out of profits before people, why would somebody, an employee, give a shit about being loyal to any company? Don't believe me? You can't even talk in America. For those that don't know, they actively discourage employees from talking about salary with one another. They don't want you finding out how much the next man makes. Isn't that insane? And you're supposed to show loyalty to a fucking faceless corporation where you're 50 bosses removed from the CEO. They don't give a shit about you. And at the next convenience for them, will cut you completely.
Precisely. Like you are literally just a number at this point. You are nothing but a gear that is turning the machine. That's all you are at that point, man. You behind that desk along with 50 other people in your department, and that's on the first floor. And the guys that get promoted go up to the next floor. But here's the other problem, all right, with the promotion thing. Yo, and I think he might cover this too because he's been on the ball. Yo, the thing about promotions, right? You got these big companies that have all of these employees. You might have somebody who's like, they might be, let's say, for instance, I'll give you an example, like parts delivery. I've talked to a few parts delivery guys that were on the money and they were very, very intelligent and got the job done. Parts got there quick. I had very few wrong parts came in. You had a situation where that's the case, right? You got a guy who's on the ball, and then the manager might start giving that guy some of his jobs. You know what I mean? Like, all right, do this for me, do this for me. That manager's making more money than this guy, but he has some of the responsibilities of the manager, and they putting that all on him because this dude's shown to be he's proven to be competent enough to handle it. And this is the issue. A lot of work is thrown down on the responsible worker. So being a responsible worker or overly zealous is a backfire in a lot of cases because you're going to end up doing more than your pay grade actually gives you. And then why the hell do they need to give you a raise and give you another position if they already got you doing all the work? And this is the issue. You know what I mean? You come in eager to work and stuff like they're going to give you work, but you're not necessarily going to get paid more. That's part of the problem with the machine.
What? Yes, no shit that the younger generation has seen through this facade and go, yeah, no, we're good. I'm going to work probably 2 years max, skip jobs for the rest of my life because you won't give me a promotion. You won't raise my salary like getting a whole new job would. Yeah, of course. And we're turning into a gig economy anyways. Most jobs that you used to get that were full-time are now turning into part-time jobs because they don't want to even pay for your health insurance.
Investment banking.
That's what I said, yo. Like you got all these people working Walmart and stuff like that. They working full-time hours, but they got them on technically what is it, a part-time contract. So they don't gotta pay for none of it. It's grimy. And these companies, multi-billion-dollar companies like Walmart and all these other places, dude. You might got places like Coca-Cola, factory jobs that very few factory jobs they still have that are able to still do that, give you a pension or something like that, or life insurance or whatever. But the fact still remains the same. All right. A lot of these places like Walmart, man, they using people. People work these jobs for 2 years and they somewhere else because the job don't give a damn about them. Only time they give a damn about you is if you get injured on the job, but then they got to do something about it in that case.
Associate that has put in my fair share of weekends to suck up to a partner. This is one of the most beautiful things I have ever heard.
It's wonderful. It's marvelous. I'm squeaked.
This kind of thing would never usually happen at places like this because elite legal and financial firms have an up or out policy with new associates, which means that within their first 2 years, they get promoted to senior associate or they get asked kindly but firmly to leave the firm. Unfortunately for the partners, they can't afford to get rid of new graduates because of worker shortages, so they have lost the threat of termination, and the reward of promotion isn't as appealing as it once was either. In the same article, an insurance firm told the Wall Street Journal of the difficulties they had been having with getting people to accept promotions. Managers often had to coax their staff into accepting more senior positions because the staff were preferring to stay in their current roles where they could manage their work-life balance. When workers are more afraid of being promoted than being fired, it's a clear sign that things are changing. So it's time to learn how money works to see why the 40-year career is dead and why that might be a good thing. This week's lesson was made possible by Course Careers, Home. By avoiding the distractions of the modern office, a lot of people realized that the tasks that they were completing as a part of their jobs were that of what.
All right, so they're talking about right now the whole 2020 thing happened with the C-19 deal, and they actually started to do work from home, and then they realized, yo, I can get all of my work done without any office distractions and stupid ass meetings and stuff like that. I can get all of my work done literally in 3 hours, 4 hours, and then I got the rest of the damn day to do whatever the hell I want to do. Like, why the fuck was I at the office the whole time, all them years? Like, what a scam. You know what I'm saying? What a scam.
But the anthropologist David Graeber would consider complete bullshit. Most of the office jobs had workers performing tasks that fell into one of the following categories outlined in the book by the same name. Flunkies who only serve to make their superiors feel important, i.e. receptionists, administrative assistants, and doormen. You don't need someone to hold the door for you when everybody is working from home, and a sales platform switching board to do most of the day-to-day work of a receptionist. Box tickers who only exist to create the appearance something useful is being done, like reading company newsletters or organizing company culture events. And taskmasters, who exist to make themselves look busy by standing over their subordinates to keep them on task, but only ever end up distracting those workers or slowing them down because they themselves don't want to look like they have nothing left to do. Most jobs in the modern office involve doing some of these tasks, but by working from home, there's less need for them to exist. A lot of employees very quickly found out that they did not need 40 hours or more in the office every week to get their work done. They could just finish it in half the time, and all the other hours were wasted on pointless meetings that could have been an email and any of the other bullshit tasks that modern workers partake in. Work from home did not get rid of the goons, who were people like corporate lawyers who only exist to protect the company from other goons, or the duct tapers, who are the people that spend all of their time fixing the problems of everybody else. So if you want bullshit job security, try and make yourself one of these. For the employees that found a whole lot of extra hours in their day, they now had to decide what to do with it. An internal.
There you go, right there, man. And this is what we were supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to go to work all motherfucking day for somebody else who don't care about you, and if something happens to you, they don't give a damn. They'll just hire somebody else. This is not, you are literally supposed to be able to do just enough, or enough basically, to feed yourself and have a little bit left over, have some left over, and then have a whole lot of time to do something else. Like, so if you wanted to, work out for a couple hours, or if you wanted to actually start your business or something like that, you're supposed to still have time for it. The fact that these people were doing all of this shit for all of this time, you know what I mean, all day, and literally doing nothing else. And now it's a situation like, God damn, I got all this time available now. Well, shit. You know what I mean? And in so many ways, the C-19 thing was kind of a blessing because it made people step back and look at exactly what is going on. I told you guys a story about how clear the sky was. Did any of you guys see how clear the sky actually was when nobody was on the road? The shit was beautiful. It was gorgeous. I'm like, yo, I have never seen the sky this blue and beautiful before. At night, you can see everything going on in the sky. I'm telling you, it's what was going on in the sky around that time where the lockdowns was happening. That's a whole nother podcast. That's a whole nother conversation, because there's a lot of stories to be told about what's going on in the sky behind all this guck and muck of what was being there. But 2020 vision, they had to show you the truth, right? But yeah.
Survey of 3,000 workers conducted by the software firm Qualtrics has shown what it was that people decided to do. 40% said that work had become less important to them in the past 3 years, and that they would prefer to spend the extra hours exercising, cleaning their home, going for a walk, or sleeping when they had the opportunity to. 25% said that work had become more important to them, and that they would look for additional responsibilities to take on in the spare hours. Most of all, 36% said that their career ambitions had waned, and that the typical progression of climbing the corporate ladder had become less important to them over the past 3 years.
Right now, you can get 100 hit loops for only.
Those are some pretty smart workers, and it was creating the same problem that the prestigious legal firms and investment banks were complaining about too. Most people are no longer willing to work extra hours and accept additional stress to chase a promotion, and a lot of workers won't even accept a promotion if they are offered one because climbing the corporate ladder is not as appealing as it once was. There are 4 reasons that business analysts have identified as the leading causes of this trend. The most damaging to traditional corporate culture is that people no longer see the financial benefits of moving up the corporate ladder. Typically, managers and senior executives earn more than their subordinates, but modern salespeople, tech workers, and tradespeople are bucking that trend, especially in high-demand industries.
Oh, there you go. That's another thing you can do. They're talking about the technology and stuff like that. That's one thing that's on the rise. You know what I mean? You could literally start doing technology and getting busy with that, you know?
A lot of workers are preferring to reskill into an
You hear that? Trades, boys. Making executive pay. Did you
There
hear
you
that?
go.
Did you catch that little
There you
part?
go.
Instead of being a corporate cuck in your little cubicle, typing away, doing shit work that has absolutely no impact on the company.
Yo, real talk. I know a guy that works for some government, something to do with weapons or some shit like that. But he has not been back in the office since pre C19. He's been working from home the whole time, making the same money and having more time to do whatever the hell he wants to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, there's literally no reason you can't save up a nice piece of change, move some to one of them islands, beautiful islands, tropical islands, and just work from home, man, and just be done with the whole shit. Like, yo, all of this stuff that's going on here, like right now is literally a time where you can actually get from underneath the whole entire shebang, man. Facts.
And you're replaceable at the drop of a hat. You might as well get a trade job and actually start earning real good money. And you actually have a difference in what you do. Literally, your proficiency depends on it.
demand role, where they can earn variable compensation based on the overtime hours.
And they're not going to build a robot that's going to go out and fix the power lines yet. They're not going to build a AI robot that can do plumbing.
Oh, that's coming. Oh, they will. It's going to take a while, but they will. Most definitely. They already got them. They just ain't put them out for public use yet, but they already exist. I promise you they already exist. All right. You can look at Detroit Become Human. All right. Again, we go back to the games because they're going to tell you what they're going to do before they do it. All right. Go back and look at Detroit Become Human and see the mundane tasks that these AI bots are literally doing. All right. They're doing stuff like cleaning a house, yard work, picking up prescription drugs for elderly people, helping elderly people go up and down the stairs, caretaking, babysitting, all of these mundane tasks. People are starting to have robots do. And you know what they never explained, or if they did, I don't remember. They never really broke down exactly why the people needed robots in order to do this for them in that game. Maybe they did and I forgot. But it seemed to be hitting at a large depopulation and the robots having to pick up the slack. And then eventually, the robots gain consciousness and then eventually buck back. Like, yo, we're slaves. We don't want to be slaves. We want rights. And now you got a whole nother thing going on. You know what I'm saying?
In a house. The trade jobs are going to be safe for a lot longer than all the other shit in a corporate office that they're going to automate real quick.
Hours they put in and the performance they achieve. People with experience in tech, pharmaceuticals, or finance could become managers, or they could cross-skill into sales and become salaried plus commission reps. They will get a lower base wage, but even average performers can earn $250,000 to $500,000 a year in commissions, putting them well ahead of any mid-level manager in the same industry. Doing a role where they are not responsible for the performance of any subordinates also means that they are free from the stress of dealing with workers who don't want to put in any overtime or work towards getting a promotion. Instead, they are only responsible for themselves and their work. If they want to make a lot more money one month, they can hustle like crazy and work on closing more sales or doing more.
That's another point too. Uber and Lyft have changed the game also, man. Not even just the fact that people are working for Uber and Lyft. Like, yo, a mofo can actually drive for Uber and Lyft and make more than he was making in the position he was in. There's a auto shop not too far from where we're at, and they literally have one technician back there doing all the work. And it was like, yo, it's not the fact that we can't afford to pay more people to work here. It's just we don't really get any applicants applying that we can hire. Nobody wants to work. I'm like, yo, that's because y'all ain't paying enough. Yo, you got people that can do Uber and Lyft and just grind their asses off all week and make serious cheese compared to what they was making. You see what I'm saying? That's another thing. So yes, the whole entire economy is changing because the way it was originally designed, the economy's gotten way too out of whack for. Like they can't afford to pay these people what they need to pay in order for them to survive. And you know what they say? That which can be destroyed by truth will be. And that's literally what's happening right now.
More overtime. If they want more work-life balance, they won't be letting down a team beneath them. Skilled, non-managerial roles in certain fields and sales roles are also safer during financial slowdowns as compared to middle managers. A company can operate without team leaders, but it can't operate if nobody is selling its product. For young workers who have lived through 2 big downturns during their careers, a job that is safe during bad times is more valuable than a job that pays a little bit more.
You know, I wonder what the financial recession of 08, what that impact had on the children that lived through that and watched a ton of their parents get fired off the rip from the corporate jobs they had. I wonder when unemployment spiked due to that these kids are living with this trauma. It was a traumatic event for these kids that lost their houses. A lot of them lost their houses or had to downsize tremendously. What effect that has had on the mentality? Because those are the ones now entering the corporate environment right now and being hired. What they think about corporate loyalty when they saw their parents, probably good people putting in who knows how much time into these companies and just getting axed right away. Or even worse, the company itself goes belly up completely. It's not your department, it's the company. Oh, Ted worked 40 something years for this company. Oh, it went belly up. Oh, there goes his retirement. There goes everything. Now he's forced to work at Costco and be like a door checker.
Yeah, I never actually thought about that, man. That he brings up a really, really good point. That is an excellent point. The people that had actually see the hardships of 2008, yo, 08 was a motherfucker, bro. 08, 09, that was a rough year. That year was very rough, man. That whew, bringing back memories. I got a drink on that one. Mm. But yeah, those same children grew up, you know what I'm saying, graduated and stuff, and came into college looking at it like, yo, this shit is don't mean nothing, man. Like it don't mean all of this, these possessions and this material wealth can just be taken from you at a drop of a dime. It don't really mean nothing. You see what I'm saying? So they don't see it the same way as people like that's my age saw it. You know what I'm saying? They like, yo, this shit is all worthless. And then we started to see what happened around 2020 when the whole entire thing shut down and everything was locked down. Like, hold on, yo, these motherfuckers is tripping. People started to see it for what it was, man. And that's what's happening. The matrix is starting to glitch out.
You don't think that leaves a dirty taste in your mouth?
Some really cunning workers have made junior jobs significantly more lucrative than managerial jobs by simply working 2 of them. Working from home has kicked off a new
I don't see any AI robots building homes or infrastructure anytime soon. Blue collar work.
Nah, that's not true. There actually is a process of 3D printing homes. It hasn't become massively popular yet, but it is a thing that is happening.
Workers are winning. Kind of. That home part is wrong. There are fully automated houses now being built. You should look it up. You should Google AI houses being built. It's scary. Everything from the foundation up, the house is built by a robot. They lay the concrete, everything in one go. It's one uniform piece. You just design it. That's going to be the new job. Yeah, man, some of these houses look crazy. Yeah, 3D printed houses. Look that up. We'll look that up right
now. Yep, there you go. Yeah, we on the same, me and him on the same page.
Now, just so you could see. Here it is, boys.
3D printed homes, man.
And the 3D printed homes are supposed to be stronger and resist much more structural damage.
My name is Ayman Hussein, and I am the director of 3D printing at Alquist. Here at Alquist, we focus on printing homes that
I
are for
Look at that.
the
personally like
community
the tiny
and
homes.
for the people in the area. We range between 1,500 square feet and 1,300 for our single family. We use large scale construction.
And cheaper, as you could imagine. You're cutting out how many workers, how many crews when you automate a 3D printed house. The cost of creating your house now drops dramatically.
3D printers to be able to
Look
create
at that.
affordable housing in rural and unserved areas.
Wow.
So when we arrive on site, we typically work on a slab or a ribbon footing. And what we do is we set the printer up around where the house is going to go. And we typically have around 5 or 6 pieces of equipment, and that is printer. And we also have a control panel to operate and monitor the print settings. Then on the material side, we have a silo, which holds the dry material. And directly below that, we have a mixing
This is
system.
wild, huh?
And
See a fully complete one.
He did the work for me with the copy of music.
Of course, bro. It's not the cause of a national shortage, right? You see how different it's gotten, though? You can cut your crews in half. You just need computer nerds. Plumbers still needed. Electrical engineers still needed, by the way. True. And checkmate. Thanks, brother. Teaching people how to be financially literate, how to save, invest, and will help people.
That's a good thing, man. That is a good thing. Now listen, yeah, the 3D printed houses, you're still gonna need the what is it? Like he said, the plumbers and electricians and all that stuff to run the wires and all that. So yeah, you do have the carpenters that are out of work in terms of this particular situation right here. So take that into consideration. All right. But here's the thing: it does drop the cost of the house substantially, and they say it's stronger, which is interesting within itself. But man, like yo, things really are starting to change for. I don't know if you can say the better or the worse, but things are definitely changing, man.
Way more than some nonsensical Mickey Mouse degree. Mickey Mouse degree.
How do you guys feel about the tiny homes? We talked about the tiny homes a while back, but yo, the tiny homes are kind of dope. What if you were able to do like a tiny home that was 3D printed? Man, you probably could get like a 3D printed tiny home for probably about like $7,000. You could pay for that, but just saving up for it. But you know, houses then got to be ridiculous. If you look at any of the houses that were going for about $250,000 in 1998 or 99, them houses now were about $700,000. That's not even feasible for most people. You see what I'm saying? It's absurd. The housing market is upside down on its ass.
Most people, and myself included, don't know how to turn 100 into 1,000. And yeah, that's all designed by school, by the way. That's all by design. You're not taught about money on purpose. It says, McChilla, thanks, brother. Join the Navy nuclear program, get a 40K sign-on bonus, serve for 6 years, get out, and get several opportunities to make 200,000 plus. Isaac, thanks. There wasn't much of an effect on me and my family when I was growing up. My father has been working at the same warehouse for the past 25 years. You're one of the lucky ones. You're one of the few lucky ones. It had an impact on my family. My father was in construction. Felt that one deeply. Almost lost our house. My 21st birthday, guys, was spent going over another state to talk to the bank with, what was it called? NACA? Me at 21 years old to help my parents not lose their house. So I spent my birthday. And I was on the car ride there. I don't know how many hours. Was wondering why the was this my life? Why did I have to deal with this stuff? Vowed to never have to deal with shit like that ever again.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop out for that. But yo, that is if y'all want to look at that video in its entirety, because it's about an hour long, we covered about 15 minutes. Tribe of Men is the name of the YouTube channel. Go over there and give them a subscribe, hit the like, drop the comments. E6 sent me. E6 grind time sent me. But yeah, show him some love, man. He's got some good information on that channel. But yo, yeah. So what about you guys, man? How did the whole entire financial thing happen, or the 2008 thing affect you guys? I remember people were very tight with their cheese, man. We were like, we had to give people deals and stuff like that. We had to take give them deals on labor parts. We had to give them all kinds of packages, like, yo, you do this, you get this free. Dude, it was crazy. It was crazy, man. But yeah, I'm way behind on these comments. Catch up. Way behind on the comments. You said fiddling. No, that's not a fiddle. That's not a fiddle. That's not a fiddle. That is the world's tiniest violin. All right. That is the world's tiniest. Let me show you. That is the world's tiniest violin. That is not a fiddle. But yeah, oh man, Tony said, yeah, I remember Tony said, I'm a master welder, masonry, and I am a certified auto body technician. Claim those certificates. I claim those certificates and claim them on my UCC1 filing. Nice, nice, nice. Nice, nice, nice. That's what's up, Tony. What up, Frog Dog? Oh, everyone, 31-year flooring tech, EETC, certified mechanic, self-employed, self-employed throughout. That's what's up, man. Good stuff. Get yourself a trade. Get a trade, man. All of that blue collar, white collar shit is dead, bro. Get a trade, man. Get a trade and make as much cheese as you can. Stack bread, man. Invest it. Get yourself a life insurance policy. Invest in a life insurance policy, man. Borrow against what you put in, man. Go ahead and whatever you stocks, Bitcoin, whatever crypto you wanna get in on, man. And take a trip somewhere, go buy some property in another country, drop about like 50 grand to buy a house in another country outright paid for. You know what I'm saying? And just live, man. Beach right down the street, weather always good. You know what I'm saying? Hella free time, food is delicious. That's the way we was meant to live. We was not meant to slave on this planet, bro. We was not put in this realm slave. We were put in this realm to do two things: wake people up and enjoy life. That's why we was put here, man. Us. You see what I'm saying? So make a new trade. Jab detox technician. That's intelligent too, because I know a few people that's doing the jab detox too. Jab detox. People are doing the spiritual stuff because it's becoming more and more popular now. You know what I'm saying? More people are starting to turn and say, "Yo, what does that mean?" This is the age of information now. So people are starting to look at it. He's absolutely right. Get into something else. You can create a new lane and get busy with it. Build a name for yourself. An excellent read, Cooperative Federalism Revised Edition, authorized by Gerald Brown. Okay, that's what's up. What up, what up, what up, Mike? What's good, man? Just remember, private and public are different. Learn, trust, then you will understand business structure. Absolutely. He's right. He's right. I said the duct tapers. Yeah, I thought that was funny too. Back in a better time, people worked for 9 weeks a year and made plenty. Yeah. That's facts, man. That's facts. Actually, being a politician wasn't even a full-time job, too. You guys know that? Being like and working for the government was not a full-time job. Like you had carpenters and you had welders and technicians and all of that stuff. All of those people who basically were blue-collar workers, they were actually your government officials. You know what I'm saying? That was not a full-time job for you to just retire your fat old ass on and just be there taking up space and ruling on bullshit. You know what I mean? That was not the way. That shit is something that became later on. So those people became out of touch. Power hires power. You got somebody's son needs a job in politics, somebody's neighbor, all of that stuff, man. That's how it works. People are lazy. They're cutting snap for people still dependent on the welfare system. I'm waiting for that to happen because that's going to be very interesting. It's all the game for gain. AI is going to put most people out of a job. Probably so. Shoot, probably so, man. I have a 3D printer. There's nothing you can't print. Listen, when that 3D technology came, I was like, this shit is going to change everything. I remember when I first heard about 3D printers, man, and they were making little trinkets with them. I'm like, that technology is not going to do anything but get better. And when it does, that's going to be an issue, Like metal 3D printers, they might be expensive. You know what I'm saying? Like a metal 3D printer, I think for a cheap one is going to run you about $600,000, if I'm not mistaken, to get a metal 3D printer. You know what I mean? Like, you can literally, if you can get a metal 3D printer you could start creating car parts. Like, yo, you could build car parts and start selling car parts. Literally. If you could get one of those, and you can get plastic one and do the same thing for real. There's a lot of stuff you can do with 3D printers, man. You invest in the 3D printer, there's a lot of things you can start creating, and you can open an Amazon account and start moving stuff like that. Fun fact, the U.S. has been acting under emergency war power since March 9th, 1933. Where we are aware of that, man. I print fixtures and crap for my van and tools for work, spaces and whatnot. Yeah, that's dope, yo. It's a lot of stuff you can do with those, man. They have been operating in bankruptcy for longer than that. Yep, 100%. Fiddle and violin are the same instrument. Oh, okay, cool. I thought a fiddle was something else. I thought I don't know. I'm not instrumentally inclined, so I don't know if that's how you say it. Try to look up a government called Hospitals and Physicians Handbook on Birth Registration and Fetal Reporting by U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. She dropping some heavy books on you guys there. I can't do it this second, though. Actually, fiddles are often covered in beer, whiskey, violence. Hey, that was fire, yo. Hey, I'm gonna hit the star on that comment because that shit was hilarious. Yo said fiddles are often covered in beer and whiskey, violins or not. I always thought fiddles were like something the country folk use, like a banjo was a little, you know what I mean? And violins were like the ones that you always see in the instrument. That what is it? The orchestras and stuff, you know. But he summed it up. He summed it up perfectly. Oh, that was funny. Oh, that was funny, man. And that was quality comedy right there. Get your employer to stop withholding, and you have way more options. Yeah, that's true. But yo, to be honest with you, some of these employers, they try to play hardball, man. You know, I think I heard somebody actually got fired trying to do that shit, which is stupid illegal. You got a lot of remedy for that, but you know, a lot of people ain't trying to go through that hardship. What up, Dirty? What's good? What's good? What's good? You got me live again. You can print in metal now. Yeah, you can print in metal. Absolutely. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not even gonna say that sentence. Y'all trying to y'all know they watching. Why would you say that? Don't even say that. You can't say that. Oh man. I can make my own lawfully. Yes, you can. Absolutely. You've always been able to make your own. Happy to share a belly laugh, everybody. Yeah, man, that was hilarious, son. That was great. Oh man, that was great. All right, let me go ahead and continue here. All right, so we already covered that particular issue right there. Now let's cover this one right here. This is talking about the fathers, man. Let's talk about fathers for a minute, man, because I feel like the fathers don't get it.
Fathers are better than mothers. We're getting pimped out by the government. People here live paycheck to paycheck, and you're stuck in the cycle of being poor. If you're a man in a dark suit, why would you want to fix any of these? Talk about fatherless crisis in America.
I have some disturbing stats I want to share with you about fatherless homes. And by the way, some of the stats, you're like, oh, I've seen this before. I'm going to tell you, when you read some of these stats, you're going to sit there and say, that is insane. By the way, these stats are from 2021 of the impact a father makes in a child upbringing, both a girl and a boy. Like I said, disturbing, but you will be shell-shocked with the stats. If you get value from the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Let me get right into it. The U.S. has the highest rate of children living in a single-parent household of any nation in the world. About 80% of single-parent homes are led by single mothers, at a rate of 23% of children living with one parent and no other adult. The United States stands over 3 times the world average of 7% of children raised by one parent. For reference, the number stands at 3% in China, 4% in India. This is not an area we want to be competing with other countries, by the way. If there is a statistic to not be competing in, this is one of the statistics. China's at 3.
This is late stage capitalism, man. This is a dying empire. We're now sucking, basically penny pinching. The government is penny pinching us in every form possible by.
I agree with that 1,000%. I said that shit 2 weeks ago. I was like, yo, this is a shakedown, man. Like, you literally, everywhere you go all over the place, you see people being pulled over and milked for shit. You know what I mean? They just basically pulling people over for all kinds of bullshit. A lot of that stuff they probably stopping people for is garbage anyway. Probably ain't even nothing. But you know, people are just giving the government money. It's a shakedown, yo. These motherfuckers are broke. They are broke. They are broke and they need your funds. It ain't enough. They took everything else from you. They took your gold and silver. Now they need your IOUs and your fiat. You know what I mean? Your energy, basically, because that's what it comes down to. That shit is energy. But yo, it is a penny pinch and a shakedown. Yeah, it is. Yes, I have to say, this is what you're seeing happening right now in society is the downside of capitalism. Capitalism is about to fizzle out. And the crazy thing is, it's up to us what comes next.
By destroying families, taxing two incomes, making it impossible to start a family. So any kid that's born in the lower classes is dependent on the system and goes into a cycle of dependency on the government forever. I mean, when you destroy the family unit, the homelessness that's exploded, the drug addiction that's exploded, the dependency on the government that's exploded, the crime rates that have exploded, all negative aspects of the social fabric of society has exploded due to the degradation of the family unit. And for those at the top, it's an opportunity to profit. We're getting pimped out by the government. The fact that a third of households are raised without the father present doesn't ring alarm bells to these people. This should be what politicians are having primarily the conversation on. What is going on with our families? Why are there so many things wrong going in our society? How does this impact our future generations? How does this impact our society today? Well, you're seeing it on the news every day. It's getting more and more extreme. Men are now falling behind in college. I've already fell behind. Sorry.
I honestly heard there's a downtrot of men actually going to college in the first place. You know, which can be seen as a good thing from what we talked about earlier. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, a lot of times when you have a situation where that's going on, you got to look at what's happening in the background. You know,
more and more now. Men are checking out of the system more and more now in negative ways. Women are reporting being lonelier and on pills more and more. Depression, all that stuff has increased. Everything that makes society worse. If we're going to judge ourselves based on our weakest link, we're pretty weak right now. It's embarrassingly weak if we're going to judge the strength of a society based on the weakest members.
Yeah, that's facts, man. And yo, how many women are on all kinds of people in general on drugs? Not even just like, you know, anything that's illegal over the counter shit that's been prescribed for them. You know what I mean? Stuff for their depression, stuff for their mood swings. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All of these things that are being given to people over the counter and being passed off as regular prescription that's got these people addicted. You know what I mean? You've got the whole fentanyl thing that's a huge issue. You've got all kinds of opiates going on. And you remember when they went overseas to get those to Afghanistan to get that the poppy, and now we got a situation where we're dealing with influx of those things being prescribed. You know what I mean? I can't even say some of these words because I don't want to get flagged for. But yeah, y'all know what I'm talking. The painkillers and such. You know what I mean? The PERCs. You know what I mean? The MORPHINE. All of that stuff. You know what I mean? The PILLS. All of these things that are basically flooding the streets. Everybody's on them. People are depressed. People aren't happy. People don't know why they're not happy. People are, you know, can't sleep. Nobody's happy. Women and men aren't even getting along anymore. You know what I'm saying?
We're in deep shit, dude. The amount of money we have that we send overseas to other people versus the amount of homeless we have running our streets that makes it look like a third world in some places, where you see people actively doing drugs in the street, in daylight, in front of everybody, on the sidewalk, where rents are pushing 2,000. Median rent in the United States, for those in the rest of the world listening, is 2,000 USD. Median rent. Most Americans don't even have $600 for an emergency saved. People here live paycheck to paycheck. There's two classes in America: haves versus have-nots.
India's at 4. The world's at 7. We're at 23% in America. Zero bragging rights. This is the stat everybody wants to hide. And this is the stats where the side effects of this we ain't going to see for 2 decades or 3 decades or longer. Takes a while to see the side effects. Let me continue. Even for children with a father present in the home, the average school-age boy only spends about 30 minutes per week with one-on-one conversations with his father. For comparison, the same boy, on average, will spend about 44 hours a week watching television, playing video games, and surfing the internet.
You see, right there. Who teaches your children? 30 minutes with the dad versus 44 hours TV, video games, internet. Why do you think they try to control and pass down ideologies through TV, video games, and internet today?
You got to be very careful what you let your children watch these days too, because they sneak the shit in. If you're not careful and you put your child in front of a YouTube and you go do something for an hour or two, you have no idea what kind of, even if they're watching YouTube Kids, a lot of these ideas, Sesame Street, Bert and Ernie are GAY. And not that I have an issue with that. I don't have an issue with what somebody does with their personal, I don't care. The issue I have is, why the fuck is this in a child show? This is not supposed to be here. You know what I mean? This is crazy. So this is the problem I have with it, bro. You watch a lot of this stuff happening. You have to be very careful about what your children consume. Even in new movies, bro, there's always some kind of agenda being pushed. All right. You can go watch. I'm a big fan of Last of Us. All right, the dystopian society type thing. I like shit like that. All right. You watch The Last of Us. No. To its credit, the first video game came out, and then the second one came out. But the second one came out during the woke era. All right, so Ellie, who was the girl that was supposed to be Joel's traveling partner, or whatever, who's like a makeshift daughter to him, she turned out to be, GAY, which is, again, nothing against that. All right, but the thing about it is, like, they killed off Joel, who was the alpha male protagonist. They killed him off within the first, spoiler alert, within the first 30 minutes of the game. They killed him off. And then the other lady who's supposed to be an antagonist / protagonist is the one who killed him. And then she's super masculine. And then her boyfriend is super weak and feminine. Like, she had to save his life a few times. What are we actually doing here? All right. So you killed off the alpha male who actually was able to come along and survive and make sure Ellie was good on this trip. You know what I'm saying? Killed them off within the first 40 minutes. And you got the super, I'm trying to watch my mouth, super masculine woman who's got muscles and looks like she's in the military and stuff. And, I thought she was the same type as Ellie, but no, she's actually not. And then her boyfriend is like frail and got a high voice and all this stuff. What are y'all actually trying to accomplish here? You see what I'm saying?
Those are the daddy. That's your mommy of your children today.
Playing video games and surfing the internet. In our house, there is no video games throughout the week. It's on the weekends. After you read 150 pages throughout the week, then you have the right to play video games for an hour or two on the weekend. And that's what you have to earn. You have to move your body. You have to exercise. There's certain things you need to do to get to that point. That's our household, but the stat.
Another thing too, that's another thing for any of you guys who have teenagers or children or anything like that. Make sure these children are physically getting out to do something. All right. Make sure you take them out to the park. Make sure you take them out to an indoor playground. Make sure you have your son or daughter doing basketball, tennis, whatever. Make sure they're getting out and getting active, man, because they got to get their body moving, man. It also builds character. When they interact and they lose games or win games, this builds character, man. Situations where they might have a basketball team who some refs make some questionable calls. Now you got to explain to them how politics are involved with everything, and everything they do in life is going to be like this. There's stuff going on behind the scenes. This is what I'm talking about. You have to make sure you get your children involved. My man's dead on the point. They should be playing video games for a little bit. And even if whatever video games they play, they should be educational. They should be learning something from these games. They shouldn't just be playing shit just to play it. If they playing video games, it should have something to do with learning a new language or something like that. You know what I mean? Have them play a video game in Japanese so they can learn the language. Whatever, man. You see what I'm saying? But do something. Get them out there and get active, get physical. Put your boys in MA or martial arts or boxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling. Every man should know how to use his hands to defend himself. You got a lot of boys out here that don't even know how to make a fist. You tell them make a fist and they do this shit. Like, yo, you punch somebody with this shit, you're going to break your fucking wrist.
tells you 44 hours a week of watching TV, playing video games, and surfing the internet. Let me continue. 90% of all homeless and runaway children, 63% of teen
Have no
suicide,
father?
85% of children and teens with behavior disorders come from fatherless homes. Let me read.
And then they won't say the F word. Well, I don't know if Patrick, but David will.
Yeah, they're not going to say the F word, the FEMINISM word. They're not going to say that. That right there. You can't say that on YouTube. But I tell you what, though, that's responsible for a lot of these problems we have, man. You know, why is it that when a woman by default and a man break up, and why does she get custody by default? Why? You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about.
I'm sure he has his feelings on feminism, but that other controlled opposition, Richard Reeves dude, whose video I covered on the last stream, that's like the mainstream media's version of, hey, we have a problem with men and we need to fix it, but we can't actually admit what the actual problem was. What ideology that we pushed so hard that made men fall in the back of the line on every single metric we're measuring, basically, besides the lowest, dirtiest jobs and the highest paid STEM fields. They won't say the F word. They'll just say, oh, it's boys. They're so hyperactive. We got to put them on medication. We got to, it's men's fault.
Read that statue one more time. 90% of all homeless and runaway children, 63% of all teen suicide, 85% of children and teen with behavioral disorder come from fatherless homes. That is a very, very big number. Next, fatherlessness likewise has a direct link to teen pregnancy and sexual activity.
Fathers keep sons out of prison and girls off poles, right? Isn't that?
Yes, indeed. Agreed. Like, you don't want to be in a situation where, God forbid, or anybody does, or sorry to hate that dude, but for the young guys that are watching, you do not want to be in a situation, all right, where you are not in that household and the mother has your daughter, all right? And don't take this personal, women. I love the ladies out there. Thank y'all so much for watching and following me, but a man has to be there. If there's any daddy issues at all, it usually comes out the wrong way. You know what I mean? So you have to be there. It is mandatory. Don't be out here making babies with women if you are not at least committed to them. You know, if y'all not getting along or something like that, you know, don't be out here doing that, man. You can even do a private marriage, man. You could go right on Google and Google different kind of marriage contracts that you can print up. You can do a private marriage. You don't even got to go through the state. You can do a private marriage, literally set your stipulations. Because on marriage, it ain't nothing but a contract. Y'all can both sign the joint. Boom. There you go. Have two witnesses sign. You got a contract. Both of y'all signed it. All right. Now that is a contract right there. True blue. Facts. So now y'all can basically be intertwined with that and call yourself, get yourself rings or whatever, and y'all can do the same thing like that. It ain't got to be through the state, but don't be out here just making babies with anybody because, dude, you're going to end up doing some destruction to yourself, man.
What they say. Why do you think if a third of households have no daddy present, is it really a shock why we have so many defective young people today? Is it really a shock why OnlyFans, something as degenerate as selling yourself for $5 a month, has exploded today? You shouldn't be shocked, man. People in the 80s were already saying this is where we're headed. In the 80s, they foresaw this. They were dismissed as misogynist. They were dismissed as like men's rights loonies. In the 80s, they were already saying, hey, if we keep up this trajectory, it's going to be really bad in 10, 20, 30 years. Men are going to start falling behind.
Roughly 70% of teenage pregnancies come from women raised in a fatherless home.
70%. Oh my gosh, that is horrible, man.
70% of teenage pregnancies comes from fatherless homes. 70%. That's a big number. And these same women have significantly higher abortion rates than women raised by both a father and a mother. On the whole, fatherless kids are 20 times more likely to be incarcerated and 11 times more likely to exhibit violent behavior than children from two-parent household. 20 times more.
Yep. So that's how people are like, yo, why is there so much violence and why is there so much you know what I mean, aggressiveness in these what is it, impoverished neighborhoods. Well, the reason is very simple. The fathers ain't in the house. Ain't nobody there to beat your ass when you do something wrong. Ain't nobody there to tell you to put that shit down. Ain't nobody there to tell you sit your ass down, come in the house at a certain time, go to sleep, turn the TV off, clean up your mess. Ain't nobody there to do that. Get on your ass when you ain't doing good in school. This is what the man's job is, and it's been severely undervalued by society, man. Like fathers don't get no bird. You can just look at Father's Day. Let's be let's keep it a buck. Father's Day. What do the mothers get on Mother's Day? All right, compared to Father's Day. The mothers get taken to, you know what I mean? What is it? Texas Road. We got Texas Roadhouse. Texas Roadhouse, you know what I'm saying? Outback Steakhouse, all these nice restaurants, you know, for good food. And what do we get? We get a goddamn cookout. We get some burgers put on the grill. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the grill, but it's lopsided, and the reason for that is because in society, fathers are undervalued, man. And this is the reason society has conditioned us to think like this. Men don't need that, blah blah blah. Nah, we like that shit too.
Okay, 20 times more. If a man and a wife raise a child, they're less likely to end up in jail, but they have the same chances as children raised by just their father.
Pause. Exactly. Pause real quick on the groundbreaking information there. A single father home produces outcomes for the child on par with two-parent households. That is the quiet part out loud that they will never say in mainstream media. Fathers are better than mothers. You will never hear that. Statistically speaking, fathers are better than mothers.
Now, the word better is a little aggressive for me. I will say this. Both sides have an important role to play. All right. They both have an important role. No one is better than the other one, particularly. But if it has to be a single parent household, it better be a dad. Because dude, we see what's happening with the mothers, man. They weren't equipped or built to be doing this shit by themselves. It is our jobs to be there. You have to have a balance in the household. You have to have everything have a balance. If there's no balance, shit spirals out of control. We've seen this shit happen time and time again. Everything in this universe, in this realm or what have you, whatever you want to call it, is balanced. It all has a balance. If there's no balance, you don't have any structure. And if there's no structure, shit is just all over the place, man. That's how chaos ensues.
If we're going by the statistics and outcomes, a father should be awarded custody during a divorce automatically of the children. Fathers, not mothers, by the way. And that statistic probably fits very well with the West and the idea women have in general and what we've seen about the degradation of feminine values from the Mouse Utopia experiment. I'm sure in other parts of the world where traditional gender roles are held more tightly, women are far more protective in general, probably.
And that's another thing too. Gender roles are bullshit. No, gender roles are 100% needed. I agree with that. Like, gender roles are crucial. You know, somebody got to be able to do one thing and somebody has to be able to do another thing. You know what I'm saying? There is no slaves, no none of that crap. That's bullshit. That is something that the F's put in your brain in order to get you to think the other way. This was an agenda. You know what I'm saying? And this is the problem why so many women are unhappy in their late 30s and middle 30s. It's because they have been instilled to think that these are bad things. Having gender roles in the house is a bad thing, which it isn't. All right. All right. So let me do this. I'm gonna catch up on these comments real quick because we're creeping up on 1 hour and 45 minutes. So let me move this around. Cherokee says, part of the plan, break up families, period. No man should be paying. Agreed. 1,000%. Then you know what's really messed up? You got the men out there who are paying that crap that still come to see their children every week. That's there for them. Just on it because the mother was mad he left her. You know, this is why I tell men, don't be having babies with a woman you cannot stand. Don't do it. It's just, life comes out of you first, all right? Life comes out of you first. The life comes out of the man, okay? You can look at the way the whole entire thing is set up with women. There's constant death happening every month. All right. The man constantly has life growing inside of him. There's always new sperm born every so often. I don't even know what the scientifics is with that, but there's always new sperm being built, being manufactured as such, right? That woman doesn't have life until the man puts it there. So yes, the life comes out of the man first. So it is your responsibility to make sure that you do not sully your seed. It needs to be put in the right place. Planned Parenthood all up in schools. That's screwed, man. That's screwed. That is screwed 100%. Mac Bones, what up, son? I ain't seen Mac Bones here in a while, man. It's been about a year since I seen Mac Bones. He still got the gloves on. What's up, son? What up, Jet? What's good? What's good? They starting satanic class after school and cause jeez. It's always something. Why am I not surprised, Israel? I'm not surprised about that crazy shit. Mass media, socially engineered manipulation. Yep. It's all by design, brother. You should not own a TV. Letting your offspring watch TV is child abuse. Unsupervised, I would say it is. Unsupervised. It's at the elementary school. It's at elementary school level. Wow. That is crazy. Word. In the first game. Yo, that's crazy because I thought Ellie was like 10 in the first game. How the fuck was she gay in the first game? I don't remember that, Chief. She was a child in the first one. I don't remember that. That's crazy. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't remember that. Yo. That's a whole other conversation if they making somebody who's got them 10 years old. Hey. I thought she was like maybe 10 or 12 or something like that. I don't remember her being that old. Colon cancer is soaring amongst young people in America 20 to 54. Sheesh. Man, it's all bad, ain't it? Facts. I raised my daughter in the same household with her mother for 18 years and still counting men. Create structure within the household, including protection. Goddamn right. Like I tell Win all the time. Y'all had told my little cousin this. She was like, I don't need no man telling me what to do. And she just graduated from college. She's about 21. I don't need a man. I left my ex because he was trying to do this, that, and the third. I said, well, let me ask you a question. All right. I said, do you think that you can have a successful household without a man? She said, yeah, I don't need a man. All right, cool. So do you think that if you're in a relationship with a man, y'all are perfectly equal? Yeah, we equal. Blah blah blah. I said, okay. All right. So let me ask you a question. All right. It is 3:00 in the morning. Y'all sleep. Y'all upstairs in bed sleep, knocked out. You hear a giant crash downstairs in the living room. You hear some glass shattering. You hear people moving around. She wake up. What is the next move? What you doing? What are you doing at that point? What's the next move? Hey, cut me off. But yeah, so what's the next move? I don't know how much of that you guys just heard, but I'm hoping it was the whole entire thing. But yeah, so 3:00 in the morning, y'all upstairs in the room sleep. You hear a crash downstairs. She wakes up. She taps on her husband or boyfriend or whatever on the shoulder. He wakes up. Now what? You going downstairs to go see what's going on? And she was like, nah, he's supposed to go downstairs. Okay, cool. Y'all are out going to dinner, right? Y'all walking past some dude slaps you on the butt. Real disrespectful, like. All right. You turn around and look at the dudes, and then you look at your man. Is your man supposed to do something? She said, hell yeah, I don't want no man. So you need a man. All right. Bottom line, that killed the conversation right there. I said the bottom line, y'all got to realize men have a lot more value than you giving us credit for. We are the protectors and providers. Yes, you may be in a society where you might be able to work one of these office jobs and you might be able to pay the whole entire mortgage by yourself, but that doesn't necessarily mean you don't need a man. It's not that simple. We have more purposes. It's the fact I'm driving to. I'm father every day. You got to be, bro. 100%. Why the competition? Child needs both. That's what I said. Yo, child needs both. Balance has to be there. I would say it's better. You know, a lot of the red pill guys say better. I don't say better. I say we have different purposes and we serve our own purpose properly. You know what I'm saying? Get them likes up, yo. How many likes? Let's get them. We got 39 people in here. Get them likes up. I was raised around strong men. Absolutely. Balance is key. IT's teamwork, everyone plays a part within the family he creates. Exactly. And it's up to the man to choose what women he goes after. And it's up to the woman to act right and be received by that man, basically. You feel me? Can't be out there picking the wrong men either. So some of that responsibility falls on the women. You out there picking the dumbass motherfuckers. You know, you're out there having all these babies by different dudes that ain't there. Then you turn 40 and wonder where all the good men went at. They ain't the same place they've been. They ain't never changed. Nothing changed. They the same place they've been. She was looking at a girl, nudie flicks. She was like 15. She 15? I don't remember that, bro. I ain't played that game though probably about like 6 years, so I could be wrong about that. Okay, I thought she was about 13 because she was small, so I could be wrong. I stand corrected then. Did I tell you I quit the right trail? That's fair, Kevin. Hey, you put in your work, son. You know, that's fair. I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at Kevin said he hung his rights up temporarily. You can still keep studying your rights, though. If you decide to contract, you have the right to do that, man. You see what I'm saying? If you decide to contract, that is your right. One's purpose is reflective of one's real self. Agreed. All right, so with that said, man, we're about almost an hour 45 in. Let's go ahead and get these invites going, man. Let's get people up in here, man. Let's get people up in here. All right, so there's the link. So y'all can hop up in here and we can chop Fable. Chop this Fable. Chop this Fable. Ah. Man, they playing around with the signal. I'm starting to get choppy. I don't know what's going on. They playing around with the signal. I keep freezing on the computer. I don't know what's happening. They starting to tinker with shit. We was good until like the last 7 minutes. But yeah, so yeah, man, this is you look at the condition society's in, man. Very interesting predicament to see how this is going to turn out. But we pretty much all have seen this page coming because we've been constantly watching the way things have been happening. And as a result, these things were destined to happen, man. You got single father households, crime is at an all-time high. You have all these people running around not knowing their rights. You got these policy enforcers not knowing what the Constitution is, haven't even read the damn Constitution, out there enforcing statutes, codes, and it's a lot of crazy shit happening. We operating in a bankrupt system. You see what I'm saying? The goddamn news is always telling you some bullshit. It's always some fear being peddled, man. It's just a lot of clusterfuck, bro, and all this stuff is bound to happen. The United States is in a very dire situation overall. Clear on this end. That's interesting because I'm freezing up on mine. I don't know what's going on, Israel. All right, I got my man in the green room. Y'all been waiting for him, and he has a pretty decent following here. A lot of people ask, "Yo, Vic Von Doom is on point." I got my man Vic Von Doom. What's up, son?
Peace. How you feel?
What's good, champ?
I'm just glad to be back. I was it was funny you mentioned you were at the ER.
Well, hey, Mac, hold on 1 sec. Yo, Bones, yeah. I see you in the green room. I need you to turn your camera on though, so I can add you. But go ahead, continue, bro.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was sick for an entire week after the last live we were on.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I went from nasal to that stomach bug, and then ended up with a tooth infection. I just got slammed.
Wow.
And I missed Sunday because I was in the ER. So and then some of the roof fell off of one of my properties, so I had to deal with that. So the week was really challenging. So I'm right now able to speak. like clearly.
Man.
So
What
yeah,
is it?
yeah,
It must have been something with the stars or something, bro. Because last
yeah,
week was a doozy for me too, bro.
yeah. It more yeah, because it was like, okay, I normally don't get sick like this,
Yeah,
and it was something. I'm like, there's something to this, so I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna shrug it off, but I'm not gonna take it too personally. As just go with it, So, but the hospital service I got was pretty good. So I'm sorry that your experience was bad.
So it's literally just me. We got shitty service here in Baltimore in emergency room. How long did it take you to get seen, yo?
It took me. My son had to take me to the emergency room, and then we got there. It couldn't have been 10, 15 minutes.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane. We got in that mode for 11:30 p.m. and did not get seen until motherfucking 6. I shit you not. 6 a.m.
That's insane.
And look, before the C19 2020 thing happened, it was a 4-hour wait.
Yeah.
So like literally, while you waiting in the waiting room, bleeding out with shit, when you pass out after 2 hours, they come there with the shit and they shock you back to life just so they can be you in the office and get your social security number, your address, and get you to sign these forms, and then send you back out to die again.
No. See, we got those hospitals though. We do have them, and I've noticed that the hospitals are kind of like haunted house. Like don't go to that one. Stay out that hospital because you're not gonna get no. Yeah, so that's what that's like.
Oh man,
can you hear me?
What up, Mac? It was good to have you here, son. I ain't seen you in over a year, bro. What's up, Mac?
I've been busy in prison, man, learning new things, getting in contact with new people, discussing many different things. Like I talked about with a friend of mine the other day about how they're preparing replacements for these women. Me and Sly had a talk the other day on the live about how they dealing with these robot strippers in Vegas, where they gave a demonstration.
I saw that robot stripper.
Yeah.
Shit,
and I've been seeing it.
Crazy. That was in Detroit Become Human too. If you play the game Detroit Become Human, there was actually a strip club full of those android strippers. It was men and women in that joint. That shit was in there too.
Well, this Westworld is coming true in the future, man, because they're gonna plan to have robots to take care of the lawn, take care of the cooking, like an iRobot, And then I've been seeing on IG and Twitter lately that there's been a lot of more of the DMs going to the Transformers than to the women. So it doesn't matter what the women are complaining about; they're gonna be replaced too.
Damn.
Because like there are some YouTube videos showing a laboratory of some of these scientists in Silicon Valley, the way they were developing certain women androids and robots and stuff for sex and other operations. And it's just that this has been talked about in the Westworld movie and TV shows. This has been talked about in iRobot and other futuristic shows. The first time I saw props about the metaverse was in this anime known as Sword Art Online. And these anime creators, man, are talking about reincarnation, where a person dies, they get reincarnated in another world, sort of like a medieval Dark Ages world. So I'm up there, I try to tell these brothers on these panels, you up there complaining about women is the least of your problems. And then you got Biden wanting to interfere with what Putin is doing with the Ukraine. He talking about trying to deal with China and Taiwan. And I told a friend of mine, if I was like Biden's advisor, I would tell him to stay out of it. We got bigger fish to fry in this country.
I'll be honest with you, Mac. At this point, I think that I don't even pay attention to that shit anymore because I think that shit is all fucking CGI. I think all of that shit is AI fucking with us. I don't even pay attention to it. It's
smoke screen like Wagging the Dog. Like the movie Wag the Dog with Robert De Niro and Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah.
They created a war to cover up a scandal.
Yep.
and then I remember this anime called Legend of the Galactic Heroes, where when they messed up, the Free Planets Alliance Congress put up this dude named Yang Win Lee, right? Who didn't want to be in the military, but he decided to join the military school so he can get some aid, right? And he was a historian, but he created certain tactical strategies to save lives. And when he up there took care of this East Lawn fortress, held by the Galactic Empire, Lorgrom and his side, man, he was mad, man, when they wanted to push an invasion to Imperial territory. And he told the head Admiral Sitho, I said, man, I thought when I took care of this East Lawn business that they would stop. But now they getting ridiculous. And then a lot of his friends in Congress said, hey, Yang Win Lee, please survive this stupid battle. We need you. And see, Yang Win Lee reminds me of this Japanese general strategist known as Tsunemoto Yamamoto in World War II. He was the one that created the strategy for them to do a surprise kamikaze attack on Pearl Harbor back in the 40s. And he told the emperor, do not mess with this sleeping dragon. Do not mess with the sleeping giant of the United States. They didn't heed his warning. Hiroshima, Nagasaki.
Yeah.
And
I actually heard that the Pearl, not the Pearl Harbor, but the Hiroshima thing was actually a carpet bomb, and they it wasn't a nuke. They said it was a carpet bomb and something else. What the hell was it? A carpet bomb and a napalm strike? I think.
Probably one of those spread oxygen, hydrogen, air bombs. Like an outbreak, when they drop a spread bomb in there and it destroys like a certain city area, but not the whole planet. It's sort of like that. The outbreak movie with Dustin Hoffman and Cuba Gooding Jr. and Donald Sutherland and Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, I remember that weapon. But that yield is very small.
Right.
And again, compared to Fat Man and Little Boy, I wasn't over there. I didn't live through that. But they do talk about the white shadows, and there's really not too many things that can cause a white shadow other than neutron radiation or a gamma burst of some kind or another. So again, that would be interesting. I like to talk to some Japanese people and say, hey, did your grandparents live through that? Or, somebody lived through that? Because they interviewed some people that suffered that.
They called the bomb, some of the old Japanese cats called that bomb Black Rain. And, that's interesting about those bombs. It only destroyed like the certain whole geographical city area. It didn't destroy the whole island of Japan. It only destroyed certain areas.
Right.
Right.
So
it's like because Hiroshima and Nagasaki was the two major cities that are manufacturing the parts for like their ships, planes, and weapons and all that. That's why they hit them.
And basically, that's what you do. You hit the manufacturing plants. You hit the major infrastructures that support your enemy. And speaking of infrastructure, I wanted to just respond to the entire subject matter tonight, everybody.
Yes.
It's systemic. Everything A6 had on here is all connected. The fatherhood, the job thing, all of it is all connected. People want to talk about racism, white supremacy, this and this and that, and the F word and all these things. It's all connected. There's not one thing that is separate. And I'll tell you what I mean. You have a country that was founded on bloodshed, racism.
Yes.
And then what happened? What happened to the slaves? The slaves weren't freed. Somebody decided this is so lucrative. Let's enslave everybody.
Let's enslave everybody.
So we'll enslave everybody, and this group will feel like they're free.
Yep.
And this group won't realize that they're slaves until sometime later.
Yep.
And then when everybody looks up, when everybody looks up, no one will know that you're a slave, because if you see what I'm saying, if everybody's a slave, then nobody's a slave. You have no one to compare it to.
Back in the days before black people were enslaved, in the times of black sales, the times of piracy, slavery was a punishment for being a pirate. And like the first people that were enslaved in the Americas, especially in the North America and West Indies, were Italians, Irish, and Slavic, and criminals from Britain and Australia. Slavery was a punishment for piracy.
I told somebody that earlier. Yep. And the crazy thing was, a lot of the indigenous or aboriginal people actually own those slaves.
That's right.
That's what Jonah Bay told us about. I was like, yo, I heard about that, but I didn't know how it all played in. A lot of those
Especially the 5 civilized tribes.
Aboriginal.
Right.
Like the Cherokee, the Chickasaw. You know.
And see here, and
the Cherokee was another one too, because they were such a large nation.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We're not gonna talk about the 5 tribes, but you got everything that the original indigenous peoples to various lands they started, and then the Western invaders came and did it in a way that nobody else has done it before. And let me explain that. We live in a dichotomy.
Before you get into it, my man Neil Finn, he wants you to drop your YouTube channel. We want to follow you.
Oh, okay. All right. How do I do that?
You just type it in the comment section whenever you get a chance. But please continue, because I
yeah. Okay, because I'm not in front of my computer right now. I'm on my phone. But we live in a dichotomy. What do I mean?
Yes.
We have something like we have child support, and then we have the ideal of the family. We've got illegal drugs. We got illegal drugs, and then we got pharmaceuticals. You know, we have everything we live is so polarized, and we're so used to it, and it's poison. It's a poison polarization. So we talk about men being in the home, men being better than women. I think what they're trying to get at is, in the West, we have a particular problem, an issue where women are now being made to be better than men, get all the advantages, than men, and then we're just some dumb animals running around. I'll go make a family somewhere else, and a lot of us do. Mm-hmm. Okay, not realizing that, like you said, we're being pimped, and they're making money off of us. There's nothing you do where they don't make money. When you die, they make money off of it. Okay, they got a place for you to go.
The highest form of pimping is politics.
Mm-hmm.
The highest form of pimping is politics, because there's an old saying in the hood that's like, while the black man pimps women, the white man pimps nations.
Yeah, but here it is. It goes far beyond white, black, anything. It's systemic, where the so-called white man, he ain't got to do nothing. Mm-hmm. You got brothers out here executing brothers. You got sisters out here who are like, I'm taking your ass to child support now, and I will destroy your life for a few bucks.
Abortions.
Abortion.
They get mad at the brothers, they abort the babies.
That's also true. Andrea Barnett says, let me drop this one real quick. I got to cover some of these comments. The ambulance got him there at 2:30. He was in the hall the whole time, discharged at 7:30. Yo, that's still a long ass time. God damn, that's crazy.
That's right.
Brian says they acted way different at the hospital when I went in with the passport. They were extra nice and removed a tumor for me on the spot and waited about 15 minutes. Anytime after that, I would have been waiting for hours. Wow, I didn't even think about it. That's interesting.
Since one time I had to talk with my with a niece of mine when she was into that gay lifestyle, and I told her this: the reason why they are pushing this on us as a people, they don't want us to reproduce. There's an agenda behind it. There's an agenda behind, the welfare state and the child support syndicate system. They don't want the so-called black messiah or group of black messiahs to come about. Because it all goes back to the design of where you give the black female the illusion of independence. And then, there was a lady on a live that said that the nature of women is to be independent and the nature of men is to be codependent. And I asked this question: if you think that the nature of women is to be independent, how come you got a lot of black females, black women that get money from child support syndicate, get money from alimony, on Section 8, on SNAP, on TANF? If they're so independent, how come they want a guy on IG or Twitter or OnlyFans to pay him like a few $100s to meet him in person. If y'all ain't independent,
Right?
if
But see
y'all ain't
that
independent, how come you need to sell your bodies on OnlyFans to get money instead of working a regular 9-to-5 job
because
or being an entrepreneur in real life?
they're not women. Okay, not being
Right.
insulting. They're not women. Just like we're the
And
men.
females.
Okay, there are no men here. Even the ones who are in power. I know you're watching, and let me tell you this: you're weak. Now, I'll tell you why you're weak. Any group of people that are so lazy, that are so narcissistic, okay, full of such hubris that you think that you could create an artificial reality and everybody's gonna dance to and just go on into it. That you could create
The metaverse.
female robot pole dancers because you can't get a real girlfriend for yourself.
That's crazy.
Okay, you can't talk to women. You don't know how to treat a woman. Okay, you don't. So what you do is I'm gonna make a robot woman and I'll sell it. I'll sell it from real men. No, what you do is you're projecting your insecurities with all your technological know-how and creating this robot woman when you can make prosthetic limbs for soldiers to get their ass back on the battlefield. When you can make limbs for people who are elderly, who fail, who can't walk anymore. Well, you can help them walk with this, but no, you're putting it into your perverse nature. Just like this other agenda and movement is basically
Right.
perverse. Okay.
Yes.
My 3-year-old wants to express a certain way, and I'm so joy about it. What the fuck does a 3-year-old how's expressing what? So I'm saying to you that these are
Yes.
examples of weak people. We live in a weak country. This went from a kick-ass country, we go places, we take people and kick ass and take names. We conquer, we stomp out, we do, we take everything by force. To now, we just got taken by force. Okay, and I like it. All right, so
I asked this guy this question, right? And he's a bona fide Christian, right? A black dude. I asked him this question: if it says in the scripture, "Envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his ways," and in slavery we were taught to worship Jesus Christ and be Christians, how can you defeat the oppressor when you up there choosing the religion or the way of the oppressor? It doesn't make sense.
Booyakasha.
And see, the thing about it, what I liked about reading comics, there was this comic book called Grimjack, right? And he was up there fighting against his god. So he said, well, if I'm going to kill this god, I got to use something from his dimensional reality to kill him. So Grimjack picked up the Mad God's sword and killed him with it. You see how that is? Where they're putting the answers within these comics and anime and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like if you don't defeat the gods, you got to cheat.
Right. And here's the kicker. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell all of you in response to what you just said. This is what's gonna happen. So you're saying we need to pick up the weapons of the oppressor and take him down. But what's gonna happen is once you take him down, you're gonna see the real puppet master. It wasn't him.
Of course. I'm
saying that it's not. They got you saying the white man, the white man, the white man. No. I'm pretty certain that. Let me just say this. I'm gonna leave it alone.
Gotcha.
Columbus didn't get here on his own.
Language
and the walls of Persia were not knocked down by Alexander the Great. Something else took those walls down.
There you go.
So all I'm saying is
interdimensional beings, right?
We got bigger problems. We got much bigger problems. Okay. So
time to strengthen yourself in the force, so to speak.
Yeah, so that when that balloon comes through the sky again, your superpowers, your powers will wake up and and handle it. So we have to evolve, like A6 said in the beginning. It's us.
Yes.
It's us. You want a business model? Another idea for you guys. How about national representation as a gig? Hey, I got pulled over. I showed them my passport. They're still giving me crap. I'll be there. And he's like, yes, my name is A6. Nope, that's my name. That's it. Yes, I'm here to get the brother out. Who the hell are you? And it's like, man, call this number. Oh, just You know, and it's like you can send the check to these places here, you know, and ta-da. So, you know, we have a great opportunity here,
Yes.
especially everybody watching. We share ideas, and we know there's strength in numbers. But like I said, it's
E equals
there's
MC
really,
squared, right?
pardon me?
Yeah. E equals
I didn't-
MC squared, right? Mass plus, concentration times,
Yep.
squared, right? A
Right.
concentration of mass.
And right, and that was not Einstein's. So
that goes back to ancient Kemet, ancient Nubia, by the way.
In so many ways.
Schools.
What? Yes. But yeah, we go. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so yeah, that so we have this dichotomy with everything that's going on now. So don't look at these people as if they're strong, they're not untouchable. Okay. They're
actually puppets.
They're puppets, but they're puppets that are supported by all of us who are afraid to stand up, who are afraid to say something. Because honestly, I have a family. I love them. Do I want to, put them in harm's way? No, but guess what? They're already in harm's way.
Yep.
Okay. I'm not talking about we all need to be what's the guy from that movie Kaiser Soze, where you just kill your family preemptively. Okay, but be ready and know that these weaklings are going to go after the people you love. They're going to go after the things you fear. They know this because they're watching us. They watch our phones, our communications, our purchases, and they have the AI is able to kind of like make a profile based on your food, the foods you eat, how many times you wipe your ass, what kind of girls you follow, or what kind of men you have, all these different things. Algorithm. And so then they can do a projection, and they say more than likely this individual can be taken out this way or this way. Okay, instead of saying, what we could do? We could put kiddie porn on his computer, arrest him, and that will embarrass him. Now the computer says, no, unfortunately, he won't give a flying F. You can go ahead and do that, and he will still keep coming after you. Okay, so it's like, well, how can we get him? He's like, well, he does not like genetically modified food, and they'll find some way to do that. So what I'm saying is, you don't have true strength if you can't handle a situation yourself.
There's an old go ahead. There's an old saying in martial arts that true strength comes from strengthening your ki, your inner higher being. Like when they talk, like you look at that movie Captain America: The Winter Soldier, they had this algorithms from the Project Insight. And it's interesting, man, that one of the threats in Project Insight was Dr. Stephen Strange. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so, okay, talking about Dr. Strange. Oh, the master of the mystic arts. So I've learned, I think the first occult book that I ever read was the Kybalion, and then Ancient Future, which explained the 7 principles of truth. Right. And then I remember some of the old gems of the ancient sages of the mystery schools, where it talks about to defeat the Lord, vibrate and submit to the higher. So in other words, it says in Jackie Chan Adventures, the anime show back in the day, magic must defeat magic. So it's like, there was a story about the Buddha, right? And he dealt with a certain, murderer, right? But what he did, he decided to resonate with his aura, the vibration of total, complete serenity. And then when the thief, when the murderer sensed that, he put the knife down and learned from the Buddha. Right. Like I remember I was walking down the street one night and I heard this dog growling at me, right? And I learned how to calm my inner self. Right. And when he sensed that and smelled that, he decided to stop growling and let me pet him. Right. I've done that too. That's how it works. I think I told that story. I was fasting, and this neighborhood dog that harassed people, came up to me. My buddy was, he was nervous. He's like, "Oh, what do we do?" And the dog came up to me barking, and I looked at him. I said, "Assalamu alaikum," and I put my hand up, and I gave him the order to sit down. He put his butt down. He started wagging his tail and just, ready to. And I
I wasn't fascinated. I wasn't like, wow, it worked. I wasn't anything. I was just like, be at peace. We're gonna continue with our walk. And then we kept walking. My friend was like, bro, how did you do that? And I'm like, we are supposed to be fasting this week, are we not? Like, there was no joy from it. There was nothing from it. It only happened like months later. I realized what happened. I'm like, wow, So I was in a different level of consciousness. We need to maintain that. We need to do this. We need to not just practice it. We need to perfect these arts. Perfect one thing, even if it's just meditation.
To the point where you embody what you're practicing.
Yeah, you can resonate.
Don't just be the practitioner, be the embodiment of the path that you're living.
I've done it.
Let me get on these comments, fellas. I know y'all got a lot to say. All right. Is it true that Biden signed America's sovereignty over the World Health Organization? No, that's not true at all.
No, it's not true.
Anything he sold over the corporation sovereignty, he ain't sell over mine.
Right.
That motherfucker don't own me.
Right.
Lost Roads, A6, you hear about one of the Russian scientists that created the C-19, the V word, being murdered with a belt in his apartment. Wow, nah, I didn't hear about that.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
No, I ain't hear about that. That's crazy.
Yeah. I think it was like Nick Taylor that had a video about that, where it talks about that. Or Slide talked about it. But see, the thing about it, how can they own that which belongs to the universe? I mean, even your body doesn't belong to you. Your body belongs to the universe.
I mean, it's all okay. Hold on, somebody wants my link.
Yeah, that's the fourth. You got to do that, man. They want to know.
Yeah.
He's dropping it in the link now for you guys.
I mean, it's like, like I tell people, man, the transportation is the weapon of the master teacher, and it says, old saying of alchemy: change the energy, you change the manifestation of the mass. Right. So, like I explained to them, man, the people that complain about this women, I mean, well, your reality is modified by the vibration of your mindset.
100%.
So it's like when I studied those 7 principles, man, I said, okay, this is the foundation of dealing with things on a higher perspective, on higher tier of vibration. And it's like the way that they use you as a battery, if they get you to focus on this police brutality, this male versus female gender war, that's how they drain the psychic energy from your soul, from your mind, from your body. Mm-hmm. So it's like, what I do, I ask these questions. I don't come at them with like a statement. I come back at them with a question, because like I said in the Matrix, to find the right answer, you got to find the right question.
Right.
And when you ask them a certain like profound question, and they're not in a hurry to answer, but they come at you with odd hominem attacks, that means that they don't have the certain inner maturity to handle the profoundness of the question that you're asking.
Right.
Because, the way that they come at us, especially the melanated Native Americans, because the Africans said that they are not our brothers. It's okay, fine. Because when the Africans first came over here, there was already black people over here, known as the Olmecs. And the reason why you have Native Americans with long hair, straight hair, because the mixture in with the Vikings and Asians that came over here eons ago. Mixing in with the melanated native Aboriginal, native melanated indigenous Americans here eons and thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Real quick.
Pangaea.
Real quick. Doom. Yo, I got the email. You want me to drop the email in the chat, or? Is he frozen?
Can you hear me?
He's frozen. Nah, you frozen, bro.
Crap. But can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you want me to
All right, go ahead, drop the email, please.
Got you. All right, so if you want to get Doom's information, that is where you reach him at. For anybody that was asking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead, continue, Matt.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean, because the way that they come at you is first on the interdimensional occult basis. Then they deal with you concerning, religion, philosophy, and then the science and technology comes into play. Like they enslaved the melanated Native Americans over here and the melanated Africans over there. They first came with the, with the preacher, the minister, and that Bible. Then they came with some, cultural entertainment. Then they came with some other stuff, the science of, mercantile. Then they came with the weapons. It's sort of like in the black community that first try to come at you with like maybe some Mormon evangelists or some Jehovah's Witnesses evangelists, or give you that church program or church numbers, what they're doing in the church. Then if you're still a problem, they probably send maybe a social worker against you or a police officer to talk to you.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. By like Brother Panny talked about in his understanding evil 1 or 2, well, understanding your genetic alchemy, volume 1, volume 2 videos on YouTube, which I recommend anybody to watch. He said you gotta realize, first of all, this is not your fight. It's only your fight when you pay attention to it.
Right.
Because I begin to notice, man, when I look at my YouTube notifications, they begin me notices of like some sci-fi stuff, anime stuff, some tech stuff, and maybe some Negro YouTube stuff every now and then, because they notice what I be saying and stuff on certain things. I say, okay, we can't get to this dude, you know what I'm saying? Because he's trying to do his best to deal with the Jedi. And then I look at my Native American name, Seven Moons Epic, and my medicine name, Peaceful Warrior. That's all I connected to like people like Kwai-Chang Caine and the Jedi, so to speak, because it's about a balance. Peaceful Warrior is about a balance between the serenity side and the conflict side. It's not about polarization, it's about balance. Now, polarity is one of the principles of truth, one of the principles of mental, transmutation, mental alchemy, by the way. But that's the foundation of the occult, magic, and so on. Those things, because magic is nothing but the manipulation of consciousness, energy, and the input and output thereof.
Yeah. Good information there, man. Good information, dude. But yeah, someone Jessica said a shift has definitely taken place. You can see it all around you. You can look at the sky and see the formations of the stars. You can see everything is different. This is another dimension. Nothing is the same as where we were before. Everything is different. You know what I mean? The things you do and the vibrations that you give off, they affect the outcome of what happens a lot faster than they did before. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The way you think and the way you walk around, literally, like within seconds, affects everything that happens towards you.
Because in the sun cycle, it goes faster. In the sun cycle, because you got four cycles that are like, you got 2 sun cycles and 2 moon cycles that are like 6,000 years each. So in 1970, that's when the sun cycle started. So you look at the beginning of ancient Kemetic and ancient Olmec civilization, it happened during the sun cycle. Because you look at Amun-Ra, his sigil totems is like the lion and the panther. You look at what the Black Panther said about Boston Setman. Those are the daughters of Amun-Ra. And then in the comic book, when Boss had to talk with T'Challa, she explained about how the vibranium came to where they were at, because Boss came down from the sky and brought in the heart of Ra, which is the vibranium. But that vibranium that they talked about is the neuromelanin and eumelanin within you. And the thing about vibranium, they talk about it can also absorb and enhance mystical energy. Mm-hmm. That's why Dr. Doom and Doom War wanted that.
Yes, sir.
But he had to get the child out of the way at that meeting of the Cabal.
Dr. Doom wanted that vibranium at any means necessary. He wanted that shit.
But in the Black Panther movie Wakanda Forever, they also found that they also had vibranium in the underwater world of Atlantis too. And also
That's
in
true.
Antarctica. So it's just, man, it's you gotta learn how to look through the parables and the metaphors and the symbolism. That's the first basic part of mastering the mysteries and the mystic path. And like I explained to my friend Big Pontiac Time Lord, mystery schools is really an interdimensional thing. I mean, you look at the Jedi in Star Wars, you had Jedi masters of different species, not just humans. Different species, man. And then when you really, look at it, if people know how to pay attention to certain things, it'll come to you. But you got to have everything open within yourself to be ready for that. They talked about, my homeboy C Boogie, man, friend of mine C Boogie in this space talked about, the mirror talk. And then that reminded me of Dr. Strange, where he had to go into the mirror world to have a better control of his spells. And then the Ancient One explained to Dr. Strange that spells are nothing but the algorithms and the templates of the universe. So this is just another way that up there dealing with the magic in these internet and spaces. Internet, mix up interconnection, intersection between different realities and different levels of sentient beings.
Right. And a lot of, I believe, a number of, you're talking about comic books, a number of them, I'm not sure if anybody out there knows for sure. I believe a number of them were either Rosicrucians or members of various, fraternal societies, where you drop certain information in your fictional literature. You want to talk about Bast and the Sekhmet.
Sekhmet, yes.
In relation to Ra, you're talking about Black Panther, but in the real world, you have Bast, and then again, Sekhmet doesn't get much play, but she is the Desert Storm. She is the enforcer.
The enforcer.
Though she's a healer as well. These are principles that we need to, again, take into ourselves, because another thing I wanted to address in relation to the discussion or the videos that A6 showed earlier was that, how can I put this? We cannot blame anyone for too many of our woes. We've got to understand that you talk about the Olmec people and all these others.
Yes.
Well, those people, how can I put this? We were colonizers first.
Yes.
There's proof that Egypt colonized the globe.
100%.
And it wasn't called and it wasn't called Egypt. It was not called Egypt. Okay. You could say Tamaray, you say Kemet, or you say Nubia. Okay. Use one of those.
It's called Al-Kabulon too, wasn't it?
Say what?
Al-Kabulon, wasn't it?
That was the whole continent.
Akhebulan, the mother of mankind.
So
Akhebulan, yes.
So you're conquering. I mean, you're not conquering, but you're colonizing the globe. Okay. And I don't know, what the behavior was at the time, but again, there's a level of responsibility. There's even rumor that the asteroids that are in the asteroid belt and the rings of Saturn were a planet that was destroyed by the former rulers of this planet. They found Atlantis in the desert.
Hold on. Dude, they saying you muted, bro.
Can
Something
you
going
hear
on
me?
with your signal, because he's not muted on here. I can hear him, but his signal. Somebody says you're muted, Victor. A few people saying it. See?
Yeah, my mic is on.
Well, I can hear you.
You know what it is? I can hear him too. The stuff he talking, they don't want y'all.
Yeah,
because I can hear him.
Hey, that was the same with me when I was dropping some occult stuff on folks, man. They cut me off for some reason.
Yeah, yeah.
but see, that's the thing about, like I put in a certain certain statement in Facebook. I told them that what people call God, I'll call family.
Word.
And when you
Okay,
understand
yeah.
your genetic potential, you understand that, okay, they said that the kingdom of God is within you. And I asked my mama back in the day this question. Well, Mom, how does God know everything about you? And she was able to think about it for a moment. I said, well, Mama, let me help you out. Luke 17:21. Read that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said the kingdom of God is within you. I said, well, that's how he knows everything about you, because God is within you.
And see, I teach my children that you are God's.
Yes.
And and what's difficult is, we talked we were talking earlier was like, don't let your children watch TV and yada yada yada. Well, I let my children watch certain things. I control what they watch. And I let them watch the old stuff I grew up on, so I could, say, hey, there's right, there's wrong, there's good, there's bad. Okay.
Hey, I remember back in the day, my mom.
Hold on, fellas. Hold on.
I got you.
Hold on.
Gotcha.
Hold on.
All right.
There's a legend going on right now that there's 36 people in here and nobody's hitting the like button. Oh, y'all tripping. Hold on, man.
Hey, six. When I tell you, the attention span, the attention, the focus.
I'm about to send y'all to the green room temporarily. Hold on, y'all. So y'all mean to tell me, all right? We got all this fire flying around all over the place, and y'all can't even hit the like button? Word? Oh yeah, okay. All right. I'm gonna check and see where we at with these likes. And if not, we gonna cut this shit short. I'm hungry and I want to eat, goddamn it. If y'all ain't gonna hit the like button. All right, look like a couple people hit the like button. All right, yeah. Watching y'all, man. Y'all, cause y'all be tripping sometimes, man. Y'all be out here wilding sometimes, bro. I mean, please continue, fellas. Continue.
Well, the thing was, man, growing up in Arkansas, AR, Ra, spelled backwards. I remember I was up there growing up watching certain things, right? And I remember I was watching this show starring Sam Neill about Merlin. And it's like, my mom was able to trying to interrupt me watching this show. And she noticed about how intent I was able to looking at the deep aspects of the show and everything. She said, son, I understand you learning certain things beyond what they can't teach you in school. And then, she saw me watching the Thundercats, and she saw me the way I was able to take notes about how I was okay. The Star of Thundera is Ra. The eye and the sword of Omus is the eye of Horus. Okay, the claw shield is the sacred claw of Mao, the lion god known as Ra. Okay, the sacred knife is the sword of Omus. She's able to notice how I was able to connect this stuff together.
Wow.
And it's interesting, man, about Jaga the Wise. Jaga's the jaguar, which goes back to the Olmecs, because when you hear the roar of the jaguar, you hear the roar of thunder.
Man.
And that's what I learned in this book called Animal Wise by Animal Speak by Ted Andrews. So I said, okay, wait a minute. You got Jaga the jaguar, Lionel the lion, Panther the panther. You got Wily Cat and Wily Kid, the bobcat and the lynx. You got Lynxo. You got Pumara the puma, Chitara the cheetah. You got Bengali the tiger from India, and you got Tiger the other tiger. I said okay.
Right. But you can't see, you can't make this stuff up. These people do their research.
Yes.
Yeah, they know what's going on. They know exactly what's going on.
The mummy. Okay.
Yeah, the mummy.
They do their homework.
I mean, you talk about the four pillars around Mumma's pyramid. Those are the four elements: fire, air, earth, and water. And the center of it is the soul, the creative force of will, which they call nothingness in Buddhism. The five rings by Musashi, the most famous swordsman in Japanese history. So it's like, you look at Stan Lee, the way he came with Black Panther, he was studying ancient African culture. You look at the guy that created the Thundercats, he studied not only ancient African culture, he also studied ancient Native American culture, because the jaguar is connected to Jaga, the Olmecs.
Right.
And see, when they crash landed in the third Earth, that area looked like South America around the Amazon.
Right.
Like
Right.
those women warriors, they look like they were from the Amazon.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but again, nothing new under the sun.
Yep.
Right.
And you mentioned his sword of omens.
Yes.
There was something that happened, and again, I want everybody to take away something from this tonight.
Yes.
I wouldn't share I wouldn't share what I'm getting ready to share normally, but I think it's important because of everything that we just watched. The economy, manhood, everything else. Where is it at? Okay, I'm gonna share something with you. Something that happened to me in high school. Does anyone? I'm sure a lot of you may have heard the term invocation.
Yes.
So my nickname in high school was Thor because I was bored in class, and they sent me away to another, like this place where you go where nobody wants to learn, and so I'm sitting there and I'm going through encyclopedias. I wanted to be in a library studying.
Yes.
The teachers weren't that bright, so I'm going through encyclopedias and I find something called runes, ancient Viking writing. And I started digging more and started reading the Eddas and learning about, Jormungand and Donar, which is Thor, Wotan and all these Viking Nordic gods.
The Asir and the Vanir, right? The Asir and the Vanir. The Asir and the Vanir of Asgard, Freya,
the Asir, that race of beings, and the Vanir and
Tyr, the Norse god of war.
Yeah, so you know where I'm going.
Yeah.
So what happened was I got so enraptured in that. Then my cousin got me into. He said, "Hey, check this out. It's Thor the comic." So I'm reading Thor the comic. I unintentionally invoked the god of thunder into me, so much so that we had shop class. This is another thing that they took away from schools. Automotive shop, steel shop, wood shop, all that. They took all that out. Well, I had it. And I went down there to my teacher and I said, "Mr. Gong, I need help. I want to make some weapons." So I pounded out my own sword. I had a war hammer. I had body armor. And I was the only guy that could walk up in the school with body armor, with iron sword and a war hammer. Nice. Now you had kids getting suspended for bringing a butter knife to put something on their bread for lunch.
That's crazy.
But they was like,
I got something to tell you when you're ready. Yeah, I got something to tell you. When I studied the Native American stuff.
Hold on.
Go ahead. My bad.
Let me finish. So I walked through the door, and they're like, "Thor, weapons at the office," and and I was doing the whole King's English shit. I mean, I was gone. I was on it, and I walk in there and I'd say, I'm like, "I'm here to check my weapons," and they're like, "Okay," and I was like, and I would say stuff like, "I have a third weapon. Would you like to see it?" And they're like, "Goodbye, Thor," and I'm like, "You sure? Because you're very beautiful." I would do stuff like that, and I got away with so much. It wasn't for years. It wasn't until years later I realized that I had actually invoked the spirit, the energies of a god.
Yes.
I could walk through the snow with I only had an armored vest on. I mean, I was gone, and everybody was like, that's Thor, just whatever, not bothered by the cold, nothing. What is my point here?
Yes.
My point is not about me. My point is trying to illustrate to you an example of a young man who unintentionally tapped a power.
Yes.
Tapped a power that he at the time just thought he was just being unique. And I'm not going to get into some of the other things that I was able to get to bend to my will at the time. But my life was so much funner, I'll just say, in the persona of that mask, that person, okay, if you want to use that term in this arena. So I'm telling all of you, you can invoke various spiritual and ideological powers to change your
Yes.
life. Okay, it doesn't matter what it is. I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. If you're a Christian out there, invoke and whatever power that inspires you.
The Christ
So as long as you're not
consciousness.
out there saying, I'm going to invoke, this angelic power or Christ, and then I'm going to go out there and kick the crap out of anybody that's not like me. Well, you're going to get your ass served to you, because it don't work like that. Okay, because you're going to run into somebody who's like, oh, I'm going to invoke Lucifer, and I'm coming after you. So that's not what you do. We have a problem, and the gods are here to put man back in his place and to topple the egregores and the logos that run the show now. And what do I mean by that? There is a spiritual essence that we created because of our false belief, and they feed on that.
Yes.
And we need to topple that. It's kind of like, what's that show? Neil Gaiman.
You
American
talking about
Gods?
the Sandman?
No, American Gods.
Oh, American Gods, yes. Oh,
Where
yeah.
you've got Odin at war with the new tech gods.
Yes.
Well, that is an allegory for us. We got to go back to the old school, because the new stuff is wicked beyond belief. You have no individuality. You have nothing.
100%, yep.
Now, yeah, Odin was like, I remember they used to sacrifice themselves to me. They used to kill each other. That was the good stuff. You guys now are playing with your iPhones and you're doing all this stuff. Well, the allegory is we need to go back. What did we do? A6, what did we do? We went back to the Constitution. What did we do? Went back to the old law books. What do we do?
Yes.
Go back to the Kabbalah. What do we do? We go back to the old stuff.
Go back to the
While
tablets.
everybody else is stuck with their faces in their cell phones, saying,
Yes.
I feel like I want to be a cat today.
Yo, you know
meow.
what's crazy, dude? Yo, you know what's crazy, bro? They actually, I don't know if you guys heard this or not, but they actually got something in schools now where kids are called fairies. They're called not fairies, furries. Furries.
Furries.
No, I shit you not. They call furries, right? And what they do is they'll actually put a litter box. Hey, listen, if you're watching this and you don't believe me,
wow.
ask the kids that are in elementary and middle school if this is real or not. They call furries. They put a litter box in the bathroom, and these children actually use the litter box, and they walk around like making dog noises and stuff, yo. And if you make fun of them, you get expelled from school. Listen, I don't know about y'all, what schools y'all went to. I'm in Baltimore. Doing something like that is the fastest way to get shoved in a locker. Like, yo, by the time you get out of high school, you will be able to hand draw a locker with your eyes closed. Because you will spend more time in a locker than you will in class if you do some shit like that. But yo,
That's what reminded me what Victor was talking about. That's what reminded me what Victor was talking about, because I studied the Greek and the North stuff back in grade school and high school. But now as I became older, I became familiar with the Native American stuff. And now I look at my Native American name, someone who's epic, peaceful warrior. And then what grandmother Selma and Red Wolf taught me was that about the hero's quest, the hero's journey. There's a certain totem that reflects that, the panther. And it's like, I noticed there were some things about me connected to panther, like dealing with my anger, my rage. There are times, even though I'm a big dude, I move so silent. I just scare people of being so silent they can't even hear me or feel me. And I remember one night, my muscles were getting real tense and stronger and tighter. And that's the thing about the panther. It has some really supreme type of muscle control, muscle movement and everything. And then I remember my homeboy Joe told me back in the day, the thing about the hero's journey you got to beware of, you got to get out of the spookism that's taught by these religions, because there's no religion higher than truth. So, and also I'm a Leo, by the way. So the cat kingdom, the feline kingdom, is related to my astrological sign. So, man, they said that the greatest warriors move like the cat, because the cat is the totem embodiment of body, mind, mastery, So it's like those felines have a certain level of body, mind, mastery. Like I watched this old ninja show where in order for this young guy to master the way of the ninja, he had to master the way the house cat moves around and everything. So
You know
it's
what?
like when I look at the Native American medicine wheel circle of life, which is taught by the Native American side of my family, my mama's side of the family, Choctaw. It's like, man, I look at Panther, I look at Fox, and then I remember one of my favorite heroes growing up was Zorro, which in Spanish means fox.
You know what? Let me say this real quick. You gave me an idea.
Yes.
I want to mention to everybody out there. I was just talking about invoking a persona
Yes.
or a spirit. This is something safer for you to do if any of you are spooked out by what I said.
Yeah.
One of the ways to perfection is to be whole. How do you be whole? You're born as a Leo.
Yes.
Okay. A6, what do you mind if I ask you what sign you are?
Aries.
Okay, you're born Aries. So one of the ways to perfection is take your sign.
Yes.
And when your birthday comes around, after your birthday, celebrate your birthday, not the conventional way. Celebrate your birthday. Pretend like you're being born again. Try to remember when you were, your youngest memories. And then after that's done, the next zodiac sign that comes up, pretend to be that zodiac sign for the entire month of that sign.
Okay.
And be born as that sign. And each time the sign comes around, perfect behaving like that sign until you come back around to the sign that comes right before your original birth sign.
Invoke the mannerisms of the sign, right? Invoke the mannerisms of the sign, right?
Yeah, you'll invoke all the signs, but the 13th sign is you complete. You will become the hub of the zodiac. So for those of you out there that believe in the zodiac, practice that. If you want further details on how to perfect that, you can hit my email and we can go from there. But that's a way for you to safely start developing yourself, because imagine an Aries can, understands how to be Cancer, how to be a Sagittarius, a Scorpio. And then when you start interacting with people, start resonating with the cosmos on every level. For that, there will be no Mercury retrograde for you.
Right.
There'll be no retrograde anything for you. You would be able to, vibe with other people.
Right.
So I just wanted to put that out there. I'm trying to give you all tools for your personal empowerment.
Oh, I get what you're saying, man. Like, since I'm a fire sign, I gotta learn how to balance with other elemental signs like the water, earth, and air signs, because it sort of reminds me of like the 12 labors of Hercules. Yep. In order for him to balance his mortal side with his God side, he had to complete the 12 labors. And then along the 13th level, he became a god. He realized the God part of himself.
Right.
And then that's the thing about the Panther. It talks about the stories of these guys that were demigods like Dionysus and Hercules, how they went through certain labors. That's what the hero's journey, hero's quest, all about. It's a quest where you go from invocation to evocation. In other words, you call within yourself the divine universal energies that you're born with, and then evocation is the manifestation thereof.
Right. So, like the brother said, and like I've said, everybody out there watching this, look into, do your due diligence, research invocation, evocation. There's nothing spooky about it. You do it at a football game. You start chanting. You start chanting for your team. Okay, you're invoking that energy. You want your team to win. You do it every time. As an actor, we talked about roles of mother and father. Okay. Yes. How would you like it if you watched your favorite movie, let's say Star Wars, and everybody wanted to be Luke Skywalker? Then there's no Star Wars. Everybody's this blonde guy running around with a lightsaber, and there's no enemy because everybody's Luke Skywalker. That would be a boring movie. So you gotta play your role. And sometimes you have to invoke a new face to get that role played. You do it at work. You can't be you can't be Bubba at work. Well, some of you can, but you have to be a different person in the corporate arena. You can't be You can't be that corporate guy if you playing with your homies, down playing b-ball somewhere. You can't be that corporate guy when you're playing with your kids. So you do invoke various things by nature.
Yes.
I'm trying to bring the hooky spooky and the spiritual,
Well, it's sort of like when you type up something on your phone or tablet or iPad, you're typing something in as like a certain DM or chat and everything. And when you're typing something on your iPad, your laptop, or your tablet or phone, you're doing an invocation, and the evocation is a response of what you typed in.
Right. Yeah, that's a techno evocation. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but it's like that's the thing about it, as above, so below.
Right.
And that goes back to alchemy and transmutation, the mental thing,
right.
the energy thing, and that's the thing about me. What I learned from dealing with panther energy is that I came up with these mantras. Silence is my prayer, meditation is my altar, simplicity is my enlightenment.
Right. There you go. So we got the panther there. I want to say to the wolf, if you're still there, get at me. And where did A6 go?
I don't know, man. But what I realized is that I studied all the different types of religions. I was raised up a Baptist Christian, and then I learned that the baptism of fire and spirit is actually cosmic consciousness, a mystical experience. Right. And I learned that by studying the Gnostic doctrine, the Gnostic foundation of Christianity, which also comes from mystery schools.
Yep.
Because we talked about in the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus Christ by Eliphas Levi, who was Rosicrucian and all that.
Right.
Where Jesus, went and studied under ancient Kemetic masters, Indian masters and all that. And it talked about even the Kabbalion, that people from all over the world, from all the way beyond the India and the Ganges, came to study at the feet of the ancient Kemetic Nubian masters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's the thing. When you look at the cutting up of the body of Osiris, that's the spread of the mystery teachings all over the world. And that's the thing. If people learn how to pay attention and just not deal with like the tablet or computer or the phone, because I still read books offline. I still read paperbacks and hardbacks at times.
Right.
Because my ebook library is pretty small right now. But I remember back in the day when I was growing up, before I had to leave, to stay Arkansas to come into Texas, I had I think 3 bookshelves of books before I had to let them go to save money here in Texas. But I still retain the knowledge because I also lived that knowledge. I remember certain things through intensive, continuous study and application.
There you go.
So it's but I remember, man, that actually the philosophies that are really close to mystery schools is Taoism, Buddhism, and the yoga philosophy of India. Because when you really look at Hinduism, the true essence of Hinduism is yoga. Because in the in the Bhagavad Gita, in certain translations, Krishna was talking to Krishna, the avatar of Vishnu, was talking to Arjuna, the hidden yoga, the hidden divine yoga of the universe, of Brahma. Mm-hmm. And see, Krishna told Arjuna, let me teach you about certain yoga powers. And then in the Ramayana, Hindu epic, it talks about another incarnation of Vishnu known as Rama. Then with this consort Lakshmi, which is the incarnation of Shakti. So when they talk about the masculine and the feminine, when you balance that, you deal with a manifestation of balance, harmony, and oneness, which is wholeness.
Yes, exactly.
And those are actually the 3 principles of the Tao. The other principles is nothingness, subtlety, simplicity. And the other principles is flexibility, flow, and suppleness. The 9 principles of Tao, because I've been studying Taoism since 1987,
Right. and that's good. That's something that they should be teaching in schools, but we know that's never going to happen, at least not with these schools. So.
I mean, you know, they're busy. They're busy. They're too busy teaching this Care Bear stuff.
Yo, they literally kicked me offline, bro. I had to talk to people and shit, dude. My computer froze.
Wow.
The little wheel started spinning. It was like, no, you can't talk anymore. They ain't like me saying something about those FURRIES apparently. So I guess that was a hand smack right there. So I won't be doing that again. But yeah, they kicked me. My computer froze. I had to get in the Telegram group and tell people, yo, they kicked me off. I had to get people to tell y'all. It was crazy. But
Yes.
So that's basically what happened. But y'all, thanks for holding the fort down while I was out.
Sure thing, man.
Yeah, thank you guys, man. I can always count on you guys. So look, man, and with that said, we creep up on 3 hours now. I'm about to wrap it up. Here's what I'm gonna go ahead and do. I'm gonna start off with Mac Bones. You can have the floor, my man.
Well, you know, the thing, when you look at all this stuff that's going on with the elemental P stuff and more dependence on technology, because like it said in the Sci-Fi Channel back in the day, those who depend too much on technology were being enslaved by it.
Yeah.
But yeah, before it went from SCI-FI to SY-FI.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and see, they showed that before certain movies like the Terminator movies, and when they showed the old version of the Westworld movie. And I said, man, wow, they kept on showing that. Those who are too dependent on technology should be enslaved by it. And then, like, you remember that movie Mortal Kombat Annihilation?
Yeah.
He said, dude said, hey, Jax, what's up with your arms? He said, hey, man, you dissing me? No, I said, Raiden said, I mean no disrespect. Those arms are not your strength, they're your weakness. You got real skills.
Right.
You got real skills. You don't need those arms.
Yeah.
That's the thing I liked about Mortal Kombat, where they had to learn how to, face their issues and fear, face yourself, face your issues and fear, then face your enemy. But they had it in the movie in reverse. Face your enemy, face your fears, then face yourself. I said, okay. And then they did Annihilation when they talk about the animality. The dude, Shokan, shaped into the Hydra. Liu Kang shaped into the dragon. And that's the thing about in Taoism, the dragon and the tiger. The dragon, authentic masculinity. The tiger, true femininity.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you bounce it out, that's the Tai Chi, the interconnection of Tao, which is the way within oneself, the way of life within you. I mean, that's the thing about the occult, is the hidden science, dealing with the hidden science within yourself.
100%. 100%. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good words right there from my man Mac Bones. He just put y'all down with the game, with the spirituality. At this point, I'm gonna go ahead and pass it to my man Victor Von Doom. You got the floor, man.
I just want to reiterate before we leave. Like I said, I really hope I didn't bring anybody any discomfort by invoking things, but we are gods. And I just wanted to give you that example. This wasn't about me. It wasn't about, hey, look what I did. No, it was letting you know. I was kind of testifying that I did it by mistake. And this is before I became a practitioner of the ancient science. And usually things work when you aren't trying to make them work. You find your keys when you're looking for your socks.
Yes.
You find that lost book when you're looking for your hat.
Yes.
So I was just trying
facts.
I was just trying to find my identity, and I loved something about this Nordic stuff wrapped me in. So I'm sharing this with all of you to say that there are a number of spiritual and ideological archetypes out there that will serve your purposes. A lot of us come to this channel to learn how to navigate, things like the right to travel and how to operate in court and things like that. Well, invoke Ma'at. Okay, invoke,
Uh-oh.
principles that will aid you on, consuming knowledge and being able to regurgitate it back. Ampu or Sebek, or what you call Greek Anubis. Okay, call on these if you want to study the law, if you want to understand the Constitution, if you want to be able to blurt this out and carry yourself. You need to be a divine being. You need to resonate with divine forces, because I guarantee you, people,
Yes.
even though they are, I said that they're weak, the reason that they have such wonderful toys, the reason they have such powers is because of that weakness. So when you're weak, you want to make sure to wall yourself with the greatest physical and non-physical accoutrements and armament that you can, because you can't kick ass on your own. Well, guess what? We're out here in the wilderness, and we don't have those big toys like BlackRock and the rest of them. So what do we have? We have that which is free. The only price you pay is the labor and intense focus on yourself. I forget who posted it earlier. Invest in yourself. That's what you do.
Yep.
So I only gave this story out of love for all of you, and that's how I roll. So with that being said, I love all of y'all, and A6 is hungry, so we need to let him get his eat on. And again, get a hold of me at my email address, and I got some other information for anybody that wants to go further, talking to me. So on that, peace and love, family.
Yeah, peace and love.
Yes, indeed. Thank you guys so much, man. You already know what time it is, what rhyme it is. It's 8-6 to 4 natural. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, man. I had some heavy hitters with the knowledge on here, man. Y'all got lucky because y'all got Doom and Bones in the same place. Dude, I literally could start a live and put them two on and then get kicked off and let them just rock out for 3 hours.
Let me say something about the thing about my nickname, Matt Bones.
Sure.
When you look at bones, man, when you purify your bones and bone marrow, you improve the flow and chi of your game. And when I talk about the game, I'm talking about the game of life. It's not just about sex, it's about money and power. Power dealing with like energy. Power is the mastery of energy. Power is the mastery of energy and the know-how of dealing with energy.
All right.
That's simple. There you go.
Yes.
my man put y'all down again. So keep soaking up game. But yes, indeed, man. We will be live and direct, live in effect next Sunday, 9 p.m. God willing. I will be in touch with you guys this week to touch bases with you guys. I still have my head in the book, so if I'm not posting on the Telegram as much, it's because I am either doing all the family stuff, or I'm running around working, or I'm doing everything else under the sun. But I'm still hitting the books. So if you guys have any questions, you can hit my email. I'll be glad to reach back out to you. Until then,
all right. Amen.
Have a nice one.
Peace. All right. Peace out, y'all.
Peace. Peace, Matt.
All right.